Ish, what can't be fleeting?
And then you're letting him lead you. It doesn't matter how you feel.
Saying he's led by God, but you feel like God is not telling y'all that. Do you still follow him?
You said something interesting, Ish. You just said like men don't think the way that women do. So it almost sounds like you don't fully trust their expertise. So how could you successfully be led by
So the majority of men don't have kids. Y'all are picking wrong. Y'all are literally picking the minority.
Every man that's on this panel, y'all have more kids than all of us women.
51% of black men are single and childless.
Excuses for the statistics. The statistics don't go well in your favor. So you say things like, okay, are they shooting blanks? Or they
because men, I don't feel like men are overall passive aggressive. The majority of men. Do you think that silence is that passive aggressive? Because we will do that.
Yeah, because there's niggas that'll use that as a way to trigger a woman. Like, because a lot of time a woman will tell you, like, when you're silent, it makes me feel like I'm ignored. So a nigga will do that intentionally.
Yeah, no, I'm just because I didn't agree with the passive aggressive part until Mary said that. I'm like, okay, I can see men and be like, you know what? I ain't saying nothing else. Will unsubscribing from the Democratic Party help fix Black America?
Let's just unsubscribe. No, you got to know why.
I don't think so.
That's the only thing that get black people together. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like
Wow.
that.
What I think will fix is if black people truly understood politics.
Because for a guy, because listen, it's so many different reasons for a man to want to hang out with his friends.
Adrian, I'm not gonna let that slide. I heard you. Why do you think that it's older single women who share that opinion?
Sometimes that's the case. There has to be
balance. Explain what White History Month is.
It's honoring the achievements of the greatest ethnic group in human history.
Wow.
I think all of that shit deserves a put them in the bathroom.
Would you rather have a whore of a daughter or a gay son?
Let's see here.
Bruh.
Because if she's a hoe, that ain't my problem. Hell, she just be a hoe. Shit.
That's a whore. Definitely. Like,
yeah, is going to college a waste of time?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't think about biology.
And can I just piggyback on that?
Read this for me, Q.
Okay, $5 super chat from Omega Green. Depends. Go for STEM, medical or law. However, if you go for BS degrees like communications, is that supposed to be policies? Or
poli-sci, political science.
Poli-sci, okay. Yeah. Or criminal justice, it's wasted time.
Final thought.
When you take a man's time, it's like taking his money. When you take a man's money, it's like taking his time. Simply put, we want something for it. If you're not interested, don't go out. Sis, hit me up. Let's clear your coochie balance.
Do women, should they still be covered by men? Do women need to understand what it takes for men to feel like they should be covered by men?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, women don't value men anymore, and it's evident.
For women to admit that they're not equal to their men, women have to come to that conclusion that you are not equal to your man. Are you for spanking? Let's go around the room, yes or no. Q, you for spanking?
Absolutely.
Age.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so big kids don't get spankings?
You gotta fight them niggas.
There's no difference between divorced women and single mothers. The man will, in both circumstances, suffer comparably with no benefit to himself. The benefits don't outweigh the cost.
But it's still better to go with someone who hasn't gone through that. It's still better to not choose them.
Have men been getting over on household duties all this time?
Listen, but I don't touch a trash bag to save my life.
So let me ask you, could you and your wife switch roles in what you do versus what for that person hold y'all back or let y'all go?
Physically, can't nobody hold me back.
Ain't no such thing as a fair fight. But Ish, what can't be fleeting?
Direction, choose your own path.
You know, this is the home of We Major, Me Frosty, Unfamous, and the restricted clothing brands. Let's get it.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something. We got hats. We got sweatshirts. We got jackets. We even got hoodies. Let's not forget our classic tees. Direction, choose your own path.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
Yo, check. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. DJ HAMP the Stampede, we in the building.
It's a Stampede! DJ HAMP the Stampede. DJ HAMP the Stampede.
Yo, see what I got on, man? My Rich Bully clothing and all that. Damn, I spilled mad juice on my shit. I thought it was a little bit on this side. It's all right, man. richbully.com. My fault. We got the upgrade and all that. You heard? Make sure you go get yours ASAP. Styling and profiling and all that. Salute to my OG Sean Antonio. You heard? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Let's get it popping.
Yeah. Share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ HAMP about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show.
Yo, check. Let me see in the chat real quick. Let me get it popping, man. Salute.
DJ Ham the Stampede.
Do me a favor, get the likes up, please. Get the likes up, please. Let me see in the chat. Fish in the Fit was good. E-Dub in the building. Imperial, salute. Riri was popping. Darius in the building. D Majesty, what up, kids? Saw it in the building. Salute putting in work. OG Vet Life in the building was popping. Strada in the building. SPS was good. AC, salute. Miss Jilly, what up? Salute to Miss Jilly. Make sure I say what's up to Miss Jilly in the chat, please. Angel, good morning. He knows, salute, brethren. Hope all is well. You heard. Good to see you, man. Black, what up, King? Good to see you. Hope everything's everything. Nightbot behaving. It's always a pleasure. Quincy, salute. JVZ in the building. Mel, you already know. Aaron Rand, Shalom, Miss Bell's in the building. Salute. Reese, top of the morning. Mr. JCK in the building, bro. I ain't see you in a couple days. Hope all is well, man. Let me see. Impress was popping. Impress putting in work. That's always a blessing. Vicar was going on. Hope everything's everything. Key in the building. Salute my G. Hope all is well. Be safe out there on the West Coast. We already got Nightbot. Queen T in the building. Salute. Let me see, man. Crystal, what's up? I ain't see you in a few days. Hope everything's everything. Old Gun was good, kid. Good to see you. Hope everything's everything. Riff, what up, baby? Good to see you, man. Tom is. Good morning. Robert was popping. Herlandy, good morning. I ain't see you in a couple days. Tiff, what up, baby? To the Tiff in the building. Tiff supposed to be getting her page started and grinding. I'm gonna have to put the battery in her back or my foot in her ass. One or the other, man. That's TT. What up? Good to see you. My brother Leon in the building. Lawrence, what's good? Salute. Hope all is well, man. It's been a little minute. Big Draws, what up? Foe in the building. Tokyo Foe in the building. You hear the tunes, you hear the sounds, you see the vibes, man. Get locked in, man. Trey, what up, kid? Samuel, Shalom, Ock. Salute to the Ox in the building. Melly Mel was popping. And Ren, Shalom. John, yeah, man, you already know, John. We grinded. John. You know what I mean? Sean, what up? Yo, you see the rich bully? You heard? You see my shit? My brother Sean sent this to me, man. OG Sean in the building, man. It's worth it. You know what I mean? It go well with all that Gucci and Louis shit too. You know what I mean? Quality is second to none, man. Mr. Williams, what up? I love you, man. Hope all is well. Thinking Throwed in the building, man. I'm about to say you kind of late and all that, man. You know? Hit the like button. Sherelle had to make a run real quick, so we had pushed it back about 30 minutes. She'll be here shortly, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I wanted to show a couple things, man. I don't know if it's a what the hell or a trending topic. I guess we'll find out.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way. Talking about.
Yo, salute to my brother Reaper sent me this one in particular. I get a lot of clips. I'll be trying to weed through them, but this one seemingly interests me. And also, I think it may have a line with the masculinity and femininity conversation that we were having previously. So we will be continuing that conversation in terms of masculinity Wednesday evening. We got a very, very, very special guest and an enlightened, smart, thoughtful panel assembled for that conversation. So make sure y'all go find that stream. I'll drop it in the chat. Make sure you turn on your notifications bells. I got to start a little bit earlier. I usually start about 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to have to start that stream around 8 p.m. Eastern. So I want to make sure that y'all are in tune and don't miss it. You heard? Let's get it. All right. So this is let's see.
As far as I'm concerned, I already dated a woman. Okay? What? When you did wait, when was this? My baby mama. Yes, child. It wasn't actually a woman, but the characteristics and stuff, like that. You get what I'm saying? What? Listen, feminine men exist. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's one of those things to where I was like, it might not be that bad because I was already in a freaking, I was already homo. Okay. So I'm just like, maybe it won't be that bad. But the only thing is, I'm just not used to having a detachable and detachable thing. So that's my only thing. But it won't be the first time. Maybe it's not that bad because as far as I'm concerned, I already dated a woman. Maybe it's not that bad because as far as I'm concerned, I already dated a woman.
So she's talking about Duke right here, I guess, apparently. So this be the illest shit, man. You be in love, you make sure you give him the baby, and then you got the worst shit to say. The most disparaging shit you could say. He a woman now? When he a woman when he was putting his sperm inside your vagina? Let me just ask y'all, why do they do that shit? What makes you want to disparage the person to that degree? Right? After you already submitted to him. You already submitted to him. Now he a homosexual. So now you say, why not date a woman? I've experienced it previously. As much shit as people be going through, as much dirt, quote unquote, as you have on a person that you lay with every night. What make them do this? Now let's assess the picture. Let me blow it up. Now here's one thing. Your countenance matters. How you move around in the earth matters. Your gait, your walk, your mannerisms, that shit matters. Okay? You could recognize a man by his countenance. Now, that's one thing I do not deny, right? That shit is biblical. Did they put this post up on person to further the notion about the words? Does he look feminine in this particular picture? I don't think so. But when you couple it with the words, though, you see, if I give you commentary when you put a picture up of a person, and I'm giving you commentary about the picture, about the person, it'll skew your view. You see? So when she calling a man gay and a homeless, all this stuff, right? Soft and all that. She already dated a woman. Now, when you look at the picture, you seeing what she's saying. See, that's strategic. I'll tell you what, though. These filters, boy. I don't know how y'all do online dating. Because these filters ain't no joke. Because this don't look like this.
Maybe it's not that bad because as far as I'm concerned, I already.
Let me say it again. This, huh? This ain't the same person. This ain't the same person. This ain't the same person. Now, what you think about her subjecting the child to this type of construct? So it looks like it appears to be her. I don't know if she's dating the person in the picture or in the video with her, but it seems like they are, she doubling down on what the girl is saying, essentially. So is that her girlfriend now? What happens with the child? He's subject to that construct now. But people so selfish, they don't even think about this shit. As long as it's about her. If she willing to disparage the father, is he around anymore? I wonder what that dynamic is. I don't want to speculate too far, right? Because the courts can mandate, visitation and things of that nature. But now the child is subject to this potential lifestyle. Kids absorb so much. Okay, she engaged. Okay. So let me ask y'all, the most formative years for the people who are educators, I think it's from years 0 to 7, right? And that's the interesting thing, Miss Jilly. Why she didn't say that, she didn't say that, but what she's saying is enough to not be said, right? I just wonder, how do we process this? Let me play it one more time for the people who just walking in.
Because as far as I'm concerned, I already dated a woman. Okay?
What? When you did wait, when was this?
I actually, my kid is, I had my baby mama. Yes, child. It wasn't actually a woman, but the characteristics and stuff, like that. You get what I'm saying? What? Ain't no listen, feminine men exist. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's one of those things to where I was like, it might not be that bad because I was already in a freaking, I was already homo. Okay. So I'm just like, maybe it won't be that bad. But the only thing is, I'm just not used to having a detachable and detachable thing. So that's my only thing. But it won't be the first time. Maybe it's not that bad because as far as I'm concerned, I already dated a woman. Okay.
What? When you did wait, when was this?
I actually, my kid is, I had my baby mama. Yes, child. It wasn't actually a woman, but the characteristics and stuff, like that. You get what I'm saying? What? Ain't no listen, feminine men exist. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's one of those things to where I was like, it might not be that bad because I was already in a freaking, I was already home.
I don't know, man. Just say anything. Just say anything. I ain't know how we process this shit, man. Lala speaks on BD Tyler saying he was feminine and acted like a woman. Called him the baby mama. That shit crazy.
Wow.
It's like you gotta laugh to keep from crying and shit like that. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. This might be a what the hell, but I think I'm gonna try to be more diplomatic. I watched it a little bit. I don't know if I heard the whole thing, so let's watch it together.
Ever wondered why people say Miami tests friendships and Vegas tests relationships? Let me tell you about my New Year's Eve last night. 4 of us get ready to go out. I already DM'd the promoter for Vendom, so that way he said we can get in, there'll be alcohol, no, wait at the door, everything's all good. We pull up, one of my friends is plus size, and they tell her that she has to pay $300 at the door. We all thought we were gonna have an expense-free night, so no one wanted to pay for the $300 entry fee. We spent over 2 hours trying to figure out if we're going to split it. Can she put on her credit card? Whether we're just going to leave, go to another club, like literally just doing everything. And we spent over 2 hours plotting and planning and strategizing. Finally, we're 10 minutes before New Year's Eve. And I personally did not want to spend my New Year's Eve sitting on the curb. So I asked my friend, would you be willing for us to pay for your Uber to go back home so you can watch the ball drop, watch fireworks, and be safe? So that way we can at least go into the club before midnight. She turned to me and says, I'll get in that Uber, but once I do, we are not friends anymore. If you've ever wondered why.
Wow.
So the show tonight is women keep women single. Are you guys real friends, yo? Like, we had this conversation before. We had a dope panel on a Wednesday, but like it just continues to resurface. Like, are you guys really friends with each other? Like, do y'all really like love each other? Like, do y'all ride for, like, how does this work, yo? I remember distinctly, we would drive about 30, 40 minutes to a particular club, right? Back at home. And so you get there like 1 o'clock, it closed at like 4 o'clock. It was like one of the after hours, right? It was like one of the few spots that still sold liquor too at that time. And we drive about 30 minutes to this club, right? One of my mans, matter of fact, y'all seen him before. Rock, his name was what he had up there. Uncle Ron, his name was. He was on a couple Wednesday night shows. But for some reason, that nigga would just wear his Timbs. I'm like, you can't get in with Timbs. And this back in the day where you had to wear hard bottoms or else you couldn't get in nowhere in a collar shirt, right? Just they try to mitigate the the foolishness or whatever the case is. And we used to get there, we get in line or whatever the case is. This nigga always got Timbs on like 3 or 4 times, and he know he can't wear them shits. And we'd be mad as hell, but we all just drive back home though. Or we go like to a little bar or some shit as opposed to going to the club. But we never not like went like left a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like we always go in. And if we all can't go, then we leave. Like it was pretty simple, even though it was maddening at the time. But I never thought, yo, Ron, you're gonna have to go sit in the car or some shit like that. Yeah. Yeah, see, we ain't do this. So Tyson, yeah, we just wait, or we be mad, or we'll bounce, or we'll go somewhere else where you can wear Timbs and shit like that. But I never had them like stay in the parking lot or give them a ride home or nothing like that. But maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe we was too what, I guess. Too loyal? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. What is it? What is it? To what? And $300 is crazy. You think she was 300 pounds? Is it was she 300 pounds? Is that why? Hold on. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Well, see what you can comb it down to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Faster, babe. Faster. Yeah, we would get there. We would get there on Tuesday in the morning, right, to mitigate his costs. We can't go down the day before, right? Because if he already a stickler on the price, that'll be an additional day of hotels for the guys and all that, right? So we wouldn't be able to do that. We'll fly down Tuesday morning. We'll load it and we'll come back on Wednesday. We'd be able to drop it Wednesday evening or Thursday morning. But it's last minute, right? So we want to make sure that he understands that as well, right? There's a convenience fee that we waived already. All right. So you may be able to comb it down there just around that. So do the thing with the rates. And then I put an additional day of the hotel. So you may be able to take that off as well. Okay. All right. Bye. Oh, my bad. So I don't know, man. That shit just interesting to me, man. That shit interesting to me, you know? Let me hear it one more time, man.
Why people say Miami tests friendships and Vegas tests relationships. Let me tell you about my New Year's Eve last night. 4 of us get ready to go out. I already DM'd the promoter for Vendom, so that way he said we can get in, there'll be alcohol, no, wait at the door, everything's all good. We pull up, one of my friends is plus size, and they tell her that she has to pay $300 at the door. We all thought we were gonna have an expense-free night, so no one wanted to pay for the $300 entry fee. We spent over 2 hours trying to figure out if we're going to split it. Can she put on her credit card? Whether we're just going to leave, go to another club. Like,
yo, this shit, yo, here's the fly thing, right? You talking like this on the internet too, right? And I think they think that the girl who was plus size, whatever the verbiage she used, right, was the one that did something about her paying for the Uber. What? Listen to what she's articulating. Are we gonna put this on a credit card? It's 6 of us. How are we gonna pay $300? What if we put $15 together for your Uber? You wasted 2 hours over $300 with 6 people. Yo, you broke. You forget that part? You done exposed yourself. I get it. The big girl couldn't get in, but y'all didn't have $300? An expense-free night in Las Vegas? When everybody looked like you? You broke. That's my takeaway. All 4 of y'all who left her outside over $300 in Las Vegas between 6 people, you broke. The big girl done caught a break. That the big girl, yo, if the big girl listening, you caught a break. They broke, they selfish, and they broke. The big girl can work that weight off, but at least she don't have to hang around niggas like this. I'm not leaving my mans outside. I get it. Niggas selfish. They do stupid shit. But for what, though? For what? Go in the club and do the same thing I always did? Right? Now, not to mean he don't get admonished. But there's plenty of other places to go. An expense-free night. That mindset ain't gonna last you long, man. That ain't how nothing works. Who? And then they posted it for her to see. Really, I don't think y'all be good friends, man. Shit crazy, bro. From not telling your friend that her promiscuous activity makes her a hoe, to not telling each other the truth, to not being candid. It's just a weird dynamic amongst women, it seems. But we had that conversation. Now the club did look like it was popping. Is that worth for friendship? I guess so. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Rel, hurry up. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Big Bad Boy was popping with the $5. Says, nah, big girl need a gym membership. Way more than she need to be in the club. I don't disagree, but people do go to the club. Nah, the old one, cue the old one, I feel you. I don't disagree, right? But people ain't gymming 24 hours a day, you know? What'll happen is we go to the gym and then we go out, but we still go out. And at the end of the day, you got to work your way down, you heard? We don't know what she doing, but we know she got charged for that at the very least, right? It's just interesting, man. Yeah, we gotta see, Aiden. How big was she? Pause. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's interesting, bro. Aaron with this $5 says, I think black women are sexually interested in black women more than black men. What? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with this super chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you disagree with this super chat. Also, let me set up this super chat goal. Feeling good today. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the 250 people in the building. Please hit the like button if you can. That helps the channel the most. Help us meet the goal. All right. Let me see. What y'all think? He bugging? 1, 2. 1 if you agree. 2 if you disagree. Let me see. 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. It's about 60-40. It's about 60-40. Yeah, it's about 60-40 ones and twos. More ones than twos. I don't think the majority of black women are homosexual. I don't think that that's the case. Women do odd things, though. You know, they do odd things, but I don't think they're homosexual. Q with the $5 says something, a little something for the show, fam. Salute, OG. Hope all is well. Let's get to this, man. Rel been doing. I don't know, man. I got more than anybody. Hit the like button, man. Share the stream. Shad, if you could do me a favor and get more people in here that aren't of the 8 body by 35 crowd, I would greatly appreciate it. All right. So we still walking down the Opps versus the allies. The Opps versus the allies. What's next, though? This shit right here is very important to understand because it's the Opps versus the allies, but it's different. It's defining the facets of opposition, how it shows up, and what it looks like. So it's going to be a little bit different from like the women versus the women. This is like a construct that regardless of gender, anybody could fall into. You know, how do you identify these two things? So let's see if we can walk this down to get more understanding. Abraham, is that right? Black women are the most homes. Can't be. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll look it up. The wolf, the faction, the wolf, and the faction. Interesting. Sherelle and I were conversing about what we're going to cover on the show today, right? And we made no mention of the yesterday show. Okay, I'll take a look at it, Mike. And we just started like mining through different concepts. And after our conversation, we had the wolf and the faction. When we talk about Opps versus allies in the black community. The faction. The faction that has held us back ad nauseum. Because the game that we were supposed to get from this particular faction, we never got it. You don't have to call yourself anything. You don't have to call yourself a Christian. You don't have to call yourself a 7-day Adventist. You don't have to call yourself a Hebrew. You don't have to call yourself an Israelite. Just tell me what the fuck the book says. And don't give me some flippant interpretation of what the book says. Clarify what the book says if I lack the understanding, because that's what the people of the Bible did for each other. They gave the sense of the book, the discernment of the scriptures, book, chapter, verse, the book of the law that they read. They didn't spin it and perverse it. Take the labels away. Baptist, Pentecostal, 7-day Adventist, Hebrew Israelite. Take all of that shit away. And let's open the book, read it, and whoever's versed, whoever understands Hebrew, whoever understands Aramaic, whoever understands Arabic, helps us break it down so we properly understand what it says. But that wasn't what was done for us. It was people putting a spin on it. You ever notice for some reason, all of us grew up in Christianity, damn near. And I know all don't mean all, but damn near all. And we always start at the back of the book. What sense does that make? And we somehow start at the back of the book, but we always stay away from Revelations. Think about that shit. We all grew up. My grandma was a Pentecostal pastor. You go to church from 11 to whenever. I used to love when my dad used to go because I know that we could go to sleep because he would go to sleep and we would leave early so we can catch the 1 o'clock game. You heard? No order, no structure. Anybody can get up there and just dance and jump around and whatever the shit is, shout. They speaking in tongues, and then you pop the Bible open. 1 Corinthians 14 say what? If you speaking in tongues without an interpreter, you're only doing that to edify yourself. Can't nobody learn from that. But that's all they do. How many of the bullshit? I'm like, yo. And then I just read this shit, and it was right there. Like, yo, like they love Paul, but then they ignore what Paul said. And then 1 Corinthians 14 and 40 said everything should be done decently and in order. But that shit is the most unorganized shit I've ever seen, bro. Let me ask y'all this. If y'all had this experience, who put a one in the chat if you had a thermometer or some type of house that they used to put red until it was full to get the building fund? Put a one in the chat if you had the building fund. Put a one in the chat if you had the building fund. Yo, we from everywhere, right? We from everywhere. I'm from Connecticut. Miss Jilly, where you from? AC, where you from? Quincy, Aaron, John, we all from. Miss Bells, where you from? Same old building, same old church. Yo, we from everywhere, and we all had the building fund. Still no building. Think about it, because there's an organization, right? There's a culture. So let's say we take black people, right? And then within that is a faction that got their own agenda, own idea, own motive from within. There's a word I've been using. I want y'all to look it up. Insidious. This is an insidious thing. This is an insidious thing. And how they taught us, take away the titles, did us a disservice. The church construct, as we all know it, is a faction within the black community that really, really fucked us over, man.
Wow.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. John with the $5 says, for the collection plate. Let me show y'all this. My bad if I was yelling. I'm just feeling good, man. I had a good workout this morning, you know. Just let this play. So I'll let you guys see the whole. No, you know what? So right here, these are AI. I think. You know what? I'll play it. See what y'all. I pretty much know these are all AI stuff, but this is how they see it, right? This is the satire about how they think that our churches are ran. Okay, but I'm pretty sure that these are AI.
This right here is the new Tesla robot, and it's gonna be bringing the word when I'm out of town. But I need y'all to donate to the church so we can pay this off. You don't look like you need donations. You look like you need to leave my church.
The message is
right. So these are AI, but this is how people see it.
Quite simple from this host.
The Tesla Cybertruck that's parked right behind me represents God's armor. Can we take it for a spin after service? Absolutely not. This truck is charged with holy energy that can't be shared. God wouldn't want me sharing.
The church is finally here. None of this would be possible without y'all donating to the church and God.
We celebrating tonight.
I am just not with y'all. Yep.
It is time and long overdue.
It crazy. AI is crazy.
I need y'all to donate to the church so we can pay this off.
You don't look like you need donations.
You look like you need to leave my church.
All right, so that's AI, right? So, but yo, it could get that far, And you know how we know? Because of what we about to see.
Okay, TV evangelists can be a little over the top, but Creflo Dollar's...
Here we go. This ain't AI. This ain't AI, everybody. Hit the like button, share the stream. This ain't AI. $65 million for a jet is not AI.
For a private jet, they take the cake.
We are believing for 200,000 people to give contributions of $300 or more.
Doing the math, that's $60 million. The head of the World Changers megachurch in Atlanta asked for the donations in this almost 6-minute video. Dubbed Project G650, as in Gulfstream 650. Dollars already a high flyer.
We're about to land in Nairobi, Kenya.
But it seems his current jet, built in 1984, is showing its age. Engine trouble on a flight to Australia, and more recently, when his wife and daughters were taking off from London, it went off the runway.
It's not like a car where you can pull over on the side when something goes wrong. And I knew it was time to begin to believe God for a new airplane.
It didn't take long for the story of the Jesus jet, as some have dubbed it, to take off, and not in a good way. This woman is a former parishioner. She showed up Sunday to protest, but got told to leave church property.
Creflo didn't have a jet when I was here, and now he has one, and he's asking for another one.
Dollar asked parishioners to give 10% of their income to the church, but gives no public accounting of how the millions are spent.
Let's be blunt. This is an industry of scam artists. Not all, but many.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of Perfecting Church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participate.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Hey, this is not AI. Okay? This is not AI. Hey, this is not AI. Okay? This is not AI. I'm going to show y'all something.
Well, I'm going to work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Like megachurch pastor Marvin Winnan, who runs the Perfecting Church in Detroit.
Or my request. And I've not done this in probably 20 years ago. But Lord said, I want to make a multi-millionaire out of someone, but they have to sow $10,000. He said, and they have to do that within 90 seconds. If you're going to do it, get it now, write the check. If you do this, God said, I'm going to make you a multi-millionaire. But there's a person in here. You sold that within 90 seconds. It should be less than that. God said, I'm going to show you my face. And I'm going to show you who I am. And for the rest of your days, everywhere the sole of your feet shall trod, you shall possess the land. And everything kalasupa, and everything your hand shall touch. I need 30 of you to get the $200. The person, if you're going to sow the 10,000, you will bring it up to Pastor Rockmore, Bishop, and you will get your release in Jesus' name. Everyone else, get $200. I want you to do it, women, especially who've had a difficult moment, and get in the center aisle. I will not beg, but I will not stop till there's 30 there as fast as possible.
And they are using religion as the vehicle to carry out their scams.
Hey, yo, this is not AI, son. This is really real. Let me just show y'all this, right? Tithe, right? And this is why it's just so important when we're talking about, yo, take the labels away. We just reading, okay? Take the labels away. We just reading, right? And this is not a episode for me to throw a bunch of scriptures, but this part, right? And I even talk about the wolf yet, but I know y'all thinking. We understand the faction. We understand the miseducation. How about the wolf, though? You could be an atheist. We just reading. We just saying, hey, show us what it says. You can be an atheist and follow the commandment in terms of saying, this the law? Okay, I'm gonna follow this law. And it'll get you to a good place. You see, take the titles away so nobody get the scapegoat. Oh, they being attacked and they being attacked. We all live through this shit. Look at this, right? So this is tithing. Okay. Hold on, I lost my place yelling too much. So thou shalt truly tithe. This is Deuteronomy 14:22. Thou shalt truly tithe in all the increase of thy seed that bringeth forth year by year. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of the corn, the wine, the oil, and firstlings, and the herds and the flocks, thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God. Right. So tithes were largely those things, you know. So they would bring those things to the temple year by year. Now, if they live too far away, this is what it would say. And if the way be too far for thee, so thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall chose to set his main name there, when the Lord thy God has blessed thee, then thou shalt turn it into money, and bind up the money in your hand, and shall go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. Right. So this is tithing. All right. I'm just showing this to y'all so y'all can see. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever the soul lusteth after, for oxen and for sheep and wine and strong drink, and whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before thy Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice thou in thy household. And the Levite, now here's where the pastors come in, right? This is just straightforward. The Levites are the priest. The Levites are the priest. Listen to what's key for them. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. Right? They dwell in the temple. They didn't get a lot of land like the other tribes. And the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow which are within thy gates shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hand which thou doest. Right? So the Levites didn't have the land to till and have different goods to sell because they were within the temple, and that was their job. That was their only job, to make sure that the temple was right and shit was popping in there. So because of that, the brother tribes, right? The Judites, right? The Benjaminites, etc., brought them shit a couple times a year, because they didn't have the land to bring forth these things. But these pastors ain't doing this shit, right? The pastor got a job, he got a book, he doing classes, he doing couples counseling, he on tour, he doing podcasts. This ain't that. Even when they start talking about collecting tithes, this ain't that. But they never read us the book. They never just read it to us so we can understand it. Let's keep going.
Can give more than what you've been giving. And so if we had 500 people give $10,000, if we have 500 people give $10,000, we can raise $1 million in one day. Lord, I also break a stingy spirit, because I sense that there's some heavy hitters watching me tonight. There's some people that can give 200,000, 300,000. They can give 50,000, 20,000. They had it saved up. But God, that's a stingy spirit. There's a spirit of fear. So I break that spirit of stinginess. Some of you are just giving maybe a little money, $10 here, 20, when you know you.
Listen to this wolf. 500 people give $10,000. We could raise $1 million tonight. I have the feeling of a stingy spirit. Let me break the feeling, the curse of a stingy spirit. Look at this wolf. And he been building it up to do this because the prosperity gospel that we all learned taught us that you could pray your pain away. By you tithing, you can buy what you want from the Most High. Think about what this does to a people in its entirety. Let's keep listening. Okay, let's keep listening.
Have thousands of dollars. Don't be like that. Come on, tell me what you can give. You have money put away. You have money in accounts that you know you are sitting on. And it's not right that you come into a ministry like this and get the presence of God and the glory of God, and it's hard for God to get your natural things. You should be willing to give when you have finances. You have finances that you have to give, but you're holding it up. You will have it saved. You have it put away somewhere. God wants you to sow that right now. You have large amounts that you have in savings or annuities, or you probably have to go in a CD and break it, but God is giving it to you. You need to sow it tonight.
Another example, Pastor David Taylor, who was arrested by the feds.
They are some of the most popular and flashy TV evangelists in the country. And they travel, well, like kings.
But when it comes to luxurious travel...
Are you seeing this? I hope so. You bought it.
Very few people can beat Kenneth Copeland. He even has his own airport next to his lovely mansion in Newark, Texas.
Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business. But
isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid. And I didn't pay anywhere. And Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
Back to the comment. You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Because this is the reality.
That's a scary thing, though, is that like there's.
Look at that shit. Look at this. David Taylor, remember? 500 people, $10,000, we could raise $1 million. Look.
Limo land, almost $50,000 total. And you think that was a good use of the money that people donated to you in JMMI?
Well, I mean, the banks certainly have looked at that on our books as good because it has an appraisal value of almost $200K, a little over $150,000.
But you got this from donations and you decided to use it to make a limo.
We really invested really good. The banks.
No,
really
I'm just asking if that's what you did.
No, not the way you're saying it. It's you're fortifying, forging.
I'm forging?
With your mouth.
Yeah. Just the question is,
okay.
Did you use the money for the purpose?
No.
The answer is yes.
So you paid.
What's laid out here is really concerning, Mr. Taylor. You are alleged to lead this organization that is alleged to have engaged in some activity that is incredibly troubling, concerning to the court. There's actual text messages that are set forth that enhance what's in the affidavit. And then I heard in the government's proffer, and the things that they have told me today that they have uncovered are very concerning, very disturbing. So I think this all speaks to your dangerousness to the community. And I know your supporters completely disagree. I agree with the government on this one, that detention is warranted. I have nothing further. Thank you.
They denied him bail. Let's keep going, though. You got to watch this.
There's a blurred line now, blurred almost to the point of being indistinguishable between like pastors and influencers. You know what I mean? Like a pastor used to be, at least where I come from, a pastor used to at least be poor. You know what I mean? When a pastor is poor, they're very easy to believe. Because you see how poor they are, and they're like, oh, you really about that life. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like a poor pastor is like it's like a gang member that has been shot a few times, where you can see the lumps. And you're like, oh, you're really dangerous. If you read the Bible and you have a general understanding of it, when a guy comes to you and he's like, listen, the Lord about them gains, okay? I think it makes it easier for you to be like, oh, I think this guy is full of.
Luckily, we have one of the best comedians out right now, Josh Johnson, calling all this out for the world to see. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you can follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.
It's only right that I let his infomercial play. But yo, that's the faction, man. The black church is a faction within the community that has really done us a disservice. The construct of the church, right? How it's set up, the 501(c)(3), what you can and cannot say, the lack of teaching, not looking into the actual books, but rather just giving commentary around them. when you look at a faction from within, an insidious thing that will eat the community and the structure from the inside out, slowly but surely, with a smile on his face, with faith and hope on the big screen. And whatever their thoughts are become your thoughts. And they perversing things, making it feel good and sound good to you. And here's the crazy part. The Bible already told us about that. My people only want to hear smooth things. We say wolf in sheep's clothing all the time, and somehow we ignore the church. AL with the $2 says the Pope encouraged the transatlantic slave trade. AL with the $2 says the church now banks to control corrupt systems. Aaron with the $5 says John passed the plate, brother, but just once. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
Yeah, now that's how you kill somebody, my brother. You get right up on the motherfucker and bam, throw his brains all over the sidewalk in broad daylight.
Rock the block, baby.
Good morning, good morning.
Yo.
I ain't seen you since so-called last year, you know?
Indeed. So called. What's popping?
What's up? What's up?
Man, just cooking it up. You know what I mean?
You know? I like that pastor thing.
You
You know, when people start disagreeing on that stuff, that's how you get more factions, right? So, you know, they got the pastor whose wife was kind of sexy, you know? You heard about it?
Yes, ma'am. Now, it's crazy. His wife was kind of sexy and he kind of sassy.
I picked that up. I picked that up that he might be kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, Ham. I can't trust my judgment. Maybe I'm biased.
Why?
Because they all be seeming a little sassy to me.
Yo.
It be the, do they teach them how to do that in church, in school?
I think so. But Rel, it's not just you. They are sassy. They are sassy. This is the wolf, Sherelle. This is the wolf. These cats is placating to whatever's trending. What's been trending? LGBTQIA plus been trending, right? You can't talk about the Jews and you can't talk about the LGBTQ, you know, in a way in which is too disparaging. They even have, right? You like even telling the truth around those particular subjects is a slippery slope, right? You know? And so there was even commercials in football games. It was like, stop Jewish hate. Like, what are you talking about? Like during football commercials, like, do you know how many Jewish people have been subject to anti-Semitism? It's a black guy with his headphones on going for a run, and he like stops, like he's like, "Wow, this is crazy." Like but they can push it, right? Because they own this shit, you know. But yo, it's okay for him to be like that, and this goes along with what you were saying, Rel, right? You saying, yo, women support movements that hurt them, that don't help them, right? Just last week when you cooked it up, when we should have just ended the show.
Yeah.
And then look at this now, the faction, the wolf's countenance. And look who the churches are full of.
Women. Women and children, which is why you gotta attack the women because they control the children.
But yeah, so this is his reply to his wife wearing the nude dress, because that's what it was, right? It's not see-through.
Yeah, it was just mesh. It was nude colored.
What is that called? Not mesh. It's called not lingerie. What the hell is it called?
He gonna say it.
Maybe mesh. Somebody said, but it's nude underneath the. I don't know what the hell that fabric is. So yeah. And look at lace. Thank you, Tyson. Lace dress with a flesh underneath, right? The nude or whatever the color, right? Flesh tone. And peep his hands. This nigga got the most twirly hands I ever seen on a nigga.
It's the voice. It's the everything. It's nothing that you could point out that would even make him, give it a benefit of the doubt. It was a lot.
The internet.
Maybe it's a lavender marriage.
About a dress my wife had on. Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down. They never said anything about this was the largest fundraiser for for HBCUs in the country. But insecure, jealous, petty, small-minded.
Look.
People got in their feelings and set up a false barometer of holiness based off of a dress. Now you got to help some people because some people have embraced the full knowledge of ignorance without any assistance for understanding. The dress was not see-through. The dress was flesh color. But because you ain't never been nowhere and ain't...
Look at this nigga. What is he talking about?
You ain't never been nowhere. Why are you doing that? It's like it's something with his tongue. I don't know.
Yo, his tongue. Yo, pause. His tongue is pause. He talk like whirly, like he like a. It's like Knox. It's like
press the button. Press the button.
Never been exposed to nothing. Furthermore, I needed to set the record straight. Y'all don't like this. I need to set the record straight. I bought the dress. And I like it. I don't care whether you like it.
This is a wolf you looking at. This is a wolf you looking at. Adorn yourself in modest apparel. I'm gonna tell you this, really. There's a few verses that most of us can quote, right? Adorn yourself in modest apparel is one of them. Jesus wept is one of them. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son is two of them. I could do all things through Christ who strengthened me is one of them. This motherfucker talking, this is a wolf, bro. When we talking about Opps versus allies, and you got 500 people in there clapping for this shit because they never open the book to us. They just tell us what they think it says. Take the labels away, bro. I know you was in the car. I'm just repeat. Take the labels away. Hebrew, Christian, right? Like, just take the labels away. Put this shit in front of us and tell us what it says, not what you wanted to say to galvanize the people for your benefit.
So it's a new influx of the baddie wife, the baddie first lady, right?
Damn.
And he goes on to say, he get excited to go home to his wife, right? Where it's like preachers or pastors usually marry the boring lady, and then he's dealing with lust and lusting over women that look worldly. So now it's just better to marry the worldly woman. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to look outside for lust. You'll be excited to get home to your wife.
He ain't say that, bro.
Yes, he did.
Bro, he ain't say that, did he?
Yes, he did.
Bro, he ain't say that, did he?
He said, I want to be excited when I go home to my wife.
What that mean? This shit, bro. And the dress is one thing. If anybody want to talk about that, we can talk about that. The dress is one thing. His mannerisms are But then what happens when they take it to the next step? Right? What happens when they understand at least what the Bible says about that inclination?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens when they prey on people? See, this the wolf that need to be taken out back and shot to death.
In the front of everybody. Public execution. You know? But I think it also goes to...
Let me show you one first.
Okay.
I'm in contact with him. Quoting Brandon Mormon, obviously, we vigorously denied the charges. Father Drew has no criminal history. The allegations have been investigated by at least 2 other counties, a reference there to Butler and Montgomery. Whether it's Elder High, where Drew was a music teacher for 3 years, or St. Ignatius, where he was pastor since last July, the places where Drew worked have been instructed to route all media inquiries to the Archdiocese. A spokesperson there tells us meetings have been discussed, but no decisions have been made about holding them at various schools and churches. Dan Frondorf, a survivor of abuse by a local priest when he was 17, has publicly called for Archbishop Schnurr to personally visit each place where Drew worked. Prosecutor Joe Dieters and Archbishop Schnurr have both issued public statements asking anyone with information to contact law enforcement authorities.
So if Schnurr took the effort to personally go to each parish, each school, each assignment that Drew had, it would send the message that we indeed take it seriously. Now, they had some missteps with Drew, and they've admitted that, but it would go a long way to the healing process.
Karen Schultz and her husband have not let any of this shake their faith, although she expresses disappointment about how the church has handled it.
I think it's important to have the ushers in the church not be touching people. I think everybody's hypersensitive about that. I don't like that. I would like to see the church come out and be very public about it.
So far, the Archdiocese has stuck to written statements. Someone closely connected with St. Ignatius telling us today the parish is heartbroken about the allegations and are all wondering how this happened.
9 allegations. 9. And he was indicted on 9 counts. 9 counts. Everybody lying on him, I guess.
Yeah, everybody lying. But that just goes to show, you know how they always kind of say that we tired of hearing this, or because we heard it all before, because we hear on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
When we look at the churches, it's millions of people that still sleep. Because people are supporting that. We think it's outrageous for a congregation, a pastor to say, I need a jet, but the congregation buys him the jet. So is he outrageous, or are people that sleep? You know, this is just the beginning stages, you know, and I think it's more of a blessing, but, you know, people take blessings as curses, you know, interchangeably. To be, you know, part of the people that are waking up to the bullshit, but it's so many people that still sleep. Like, I went, you know, I was at church Sunday, right? They did a memorial at a Catholic church, and New Orleans Catholic churches are grand. It's funny that they be like, in the black churches, we always got a building fund. Them Catholic churches, the walls is made of gold. They got statues of Mary, Jesus, all the disciples in there. Them churches are, the buildings are just immaculate for real. Mm-hmm. But at the bottom of the website for most Catholic churches, there is a hotline number you can call to report abuse.
Okay.
Do you know how bad
it gotta be?
That got to be. There's lawsuits against the Archdiocese that you as a church have to put a hotline. Y'all have to create a hotline number for people to call and report abuse.
Yeah, you got it built into the website. Yo, and
you got a hotline number for a church. That's where people are supposed to be going to find God.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? That's outrageous. And it's the wolf thing, right? You got the construct, the faction of the church, and then you got the wolf thing, and we really got to call this shit out, right? one child getting taken advantage of is enough, right? And then for it to be perpetually a thing, and I know people are making an argument. Well, there's plenty of churches out here. These are the biggest ones. Like, it's the people we know. Like this one, right? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, man.
In the speech, you said that you would fight the charges. So why did you settle the case?
The old gambler song, got know when to hold it, know when to fold it, know when to walk away. But then after such attack of media, the stress of all of that and all of this, you got to look at what's happening to you. At that point, everyone who believed in you was still believing in you. At that point, who didn't believe in me wasn't going to believe in me, no matter what I did, no matter what the court said. And sometimes, even in life, you got to figure, am I going to win the battle or do I need to win the war? And so I had to make a decision to save me, save my family, and save the church, because continuing on was just going to be beat, and gives everybody more opportunity to beat up people.
Right. See, a lot of people struggle with the settlement. A settlement is not an admission of guilt in the court of law. The court of public opinion is different, though. See, when people hear settlement, they go the other way. You understand?
I understand that.
And from
So he settled. He played it. Was a clip where he got accused of this, right? Sodomy. And he said, I'm going to fight it. And the church erupted. And then he settled the case after. And then this is just a little bit of the background.
Jamal Paris says he's now haunted by a father figure, Bishop Eddie Long, pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist, one of America's most powerful megachurches.
I cannot get the sound of his voice out of my head, and I cannot forget the smell of his cologne, and I cannot forget the way that he made me cry many nights when I drove in his cars on the way home, not able to take enough showers to wipe the smell of him off of my body.
As teens, Paris and 3 other young men claim Long adopted them as his spiritual sons, then exploited them. Their civil suits allege Long used scripture, cars, jewelry, and trips on his private plane in a sexual seduction.
That's not a father. That's a predator.
Long built this megachurch into 25,000 members. 4 U.S. presidents attended Coretta Scott King's funeral here. He flaunts his wealth and his physique. His so-called muscular Christianity preaches homosexuality is sinful. Now these allegations.
I have never in my life portrayed myself as a perfect man, but I am not the man that's being portrayed on the television.
But here's what makes many church members here wonder. Long has never taken his public denials one step further, never said flatly these allegations are false. All 4 teens met Georgia's legal age of consent, but that's hardly the moral standard for any pastor.
You are not a man, you are a monster.
Allegations that leave Long's congregation trying to decide whether their pastor is a predator. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Lithonia, Georgia.
And maybe that's why we see so many effeminate, since y'all like that word, right? They be using that, right?
Effeminate, yeah.
Yeah. Effeminate men in the church. Because 9 times out of 10, because we know we're going to talk about what happens to little girls in the community, but the biggest exploitation of little boys be in the church. And people are more susceptible to leaving their sons and their daughters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because nobody really looks at little boys as being victimized. Because if it happens to them by a woman, you get a high five. That's not abuse in people's minds because she's a woman. So they don't pay so much attention to the little boys that, hey, now men understand that these little boys are up for grabs. The little girls is hard pressed, but the little boys, it's open season.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not expecting it, especially if the message that the person preaches goes against that type of behavior, like they just mentioned with him. The there was this video I saw, Sherelle, and I can't find it for the life of me. There's this dark-skinned boy. He probably your age though. And this is a few years ago though. They're at like Cancun or some type of trip, right? And he's sitting in the back seat of the car. And he's like crying profusely, but he's crying like while telling a story and laughing. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yo, I just went back there and this girl like raped me. Like he just saying it. He's kind of saying what happened. And his buddy sitting to the left of him and the two in the front seat, they turned around, they got the camera on him and they laughing at him. What the fuck you crying for? Da, 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 da. But it is such a profound thing and I can't find it. But it's like, he's smiling and telling the story, but he know that that's not how that goes. But his buddies, to your point, were like, what are you talking about? And she was pretty, but it was against his will. But nobody took it seriously. They just posted video. But I can't get the image of him out my head. I just can't find this shit. To your point. Yeah. Right? There's very little protection around that, when it comes to men. Even like when we say like Terry Crews, how the fuck somebody grope your big ass? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's the power, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to only recognize power dynamics when it comes to people like Diddy. A pastor.
Oh yeah.
People look at pastor like when he go in the closet, God is in the flesh in the closet talking just to him. That's how people look at their pastors, like, like he's their direct source. He can talk to Jesus. Jesus be with him in the meetings. So it's like that's a powerhouse to go against.
Yeah.
And people who are victims in their mind, they're trying to protect people, right? Because what does this do to the church? How many lives do you ruin, or do you carry the burden? Because me speaking up about my one pain won't hurt my entire family when it's your family. Don't hurt the entire congregation when it's your pastor. Don't hurt the entire world when it's a celebrity that everybody loves. And now you're about to confuse and cause hurt to masses of people. And it's a conflict on, should I do that? Or should I carry this pain? But then when you're not just a victim and it's another victim and it's another victim, then you start to think, am I enabling this behavior by protecting my abuser, giving him more opportunity to be able to continuously abuse other people?
Damn, there's a great, you can hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Battery died. There's a great clip. You may have seen it. It's with the podcast Mason, Mason Cam, right? They got their sports show.
I thought you said Mason, but I was like Mace
and Cam, my bad. And so Cam asked Mace on camera, he said, yo, why you took me to Biggie and not Diddy? And Mace said, because I wanted to make sure you was treated well, fairly, or something like that, And Mace started crying, not like, but it just because he was a victim of being bad boy and the 360 deals and not having your publishing and your rights, and he brought him to Biggie as opposed to Diddy to make sure he got a fair shot. And it broke him down just recollecting because of how much shit that Diddy did to them in that way, even the Locks. So interesting enough, the Sheik didn't have the same deal as Styles and Jada. Sheik used to miss a lot of meetings because he was actually outside, like the song be like fuck the frail shit. You know that song? Yeah. Sheik just didn't make it to the studio because he was too busy outside. Like, and it's just that simple, right? But my battery gonna die, but you can still hear me. So
you put a dead battery down?
Yeah, I put a dead battery in. So but they got on the phone with Diddy. I don't know if you ever heard that shit before. is Jada Kiss and Styles, and they talking to Diddy over the phone. Like he's like, yo, come to the office, and Styles like, yo, this make, and he got his, you know how somebody grit their teeth, Sherelle? And he's like, it make me want to fucking kill you for shit like this. Like, cause they can't get their money. Like they was with Rough Riders, he still was getting he still had their publishing. And just to your point, a victim trying to save other victims, you know, but then we get into victim shame and the victim blaming, you know. It just interesting. That was kind of long drawn out. I was kind of talking to myself, but I just let me show you this video, because this is what really was the catalyst for this. Now my battery keep dying. Who asked me that? Brandon.
Yeah, my battery don't never die.
Yeah, man. You also got an Android.
What? Android. It's an Apple product. I got a number Apple product.
So this one, and I'm gonna bring people up as they play this.
Hey, my wonderful sweet babies. So today we're going to be talking about essay allegations on Pastor Donnie McClurkin. So here's the crazy part. The allegations are allegedly coming from this man by the name of Giuseppe Corletto. He's stating that he feels like he was cloned, and he's also stating that he was an assistant for Donnie McClurkin, and within that time frame, it was a kind of like, let me pray the, rainbow community off of you. Giuseppe Corletto also claims that he has an email that he just recently stumbled upon of this whole entire thing coming out. And in that email, Donnie McClurkin was very apologetic of his actions. It also appears that Donnie McClurkin was getting his feel on during the times of their sessions together, before it turned into a whole full-on, let me get up in them things. So here's my thoughts. Honestly and truly, I want to believe this guy, but honestly, I don't believe anything until I actually see the proof of, the email that he's stating that he has. But a lot of the times you really cannot believe these celebrities or these celebrity figures or even people that are within the church. But that's my opinion. What's yours? Hey, my wonderful sweet baby. So today we're going to be talking.
Donnie.
Not creating me a clean heart and purify me.
Bobby said with the 2000s, fake ass pastors should be a topic once a week. With the 2000s, the church and banks encourage colonization. With the 2000s, the Pope encouraged the transatlantic slave trade. What you think, man?
Yeah, this is problematic. I mean, when we think about the church, we might as well just see them as Hollywood and government, and all see them in the blankets of nobody's actually who they're saying they are. It's like a pack of wolves in sheep clothing, and we the real sheep. The voters, the believers, the worshipers, the tithers, the congregation, the people who support these people and idolize these people in a way and put them on pedestals and give them that amount of power to make them feel like they're invincible, which is why I say like power should be delegated as much as it can be, because I don't know if anybody at that tip top, it hasn't been demonstrated that the people who get that power won't be tainted by it. Like the power literally is corrupting man. It makes you feel invincible, right? And we dealing with a bunch of black people because we black, so we like to address that. But black men don't have the power structure to protect us from this, right? Because you can say, yo, I know these pastors is wild, and a group of good men could go and off them, and then you go to jail, and we lose our group of men out here because there's no infrastructure for you to put the checks and balances in your community where the people are harming, right? We're prevented from that, and we got to just give them to the white man. And the white man, typically, if they see it's more harm to the black community and not really affecting anything that they care about, they'll put them right back into the community. Who cares? We don't care. We don't care if your pastor is robbing you. We don't care what's going on. If it's affecting us, get back to us. So it's like they don't really have that power, because if you put the big hand down, you put the heavy hand down. You got to deal with the government putting consequences on you when you in your right mind trying to protect your community. Because it could be 10,000 good black men. It only takes 10 fucked up niggas to mess up a whole group of 10,000. If he goes unchecked, if his power can't be unchecked, no, who was gonna check Diddy? Who gonna check these pastors? When they got the money, when they got the infrastructure, when they got the power, literally, who can say something? How many people then talked about these men? How many people then talked about the church? How many people then came out about some of these celebrities? And it takes until they cross a white person, until you don't want to listen to what a white man say. Then he put the big hand down, and it's like, oh well, Cosby, go sit down for all the stuff they were saying about you years ago. Oh well, Diddy, go say something that they were saying about you years ago. Now that it's affecting us, and you think you're gonna step out of line with us, well, now we're gonna expose it. But how many years they was protecting them? How many years they was protecting all of these predators? For years and years and years, until it was beneficial for them to take you off the board.
So you think the people that had the influence over the people that we can't influence just waited and said, okay, enough is enough, or okay, the cat's out the bag? You think that the labels and the people he in cahoots with and the distribution, they all know about the shit he was accused of before we knew?
Yeah, of course they know. They paying to cover it up. That video coming out with him hitting Cassie, that was paid to be covered up. Then it came out. You didn't release that in real time.
Yeah, it came out. What, 3
NDAs
years
are
later?
signed. It's covered up. People's lives are threatened. Their children are threatened. Their families are threatened. They are getting bossed around, so they make sure that they shut up. They're being paid off, paid for their silence, because they don't want you coming over here trying to mess nothing up. And that fear, that anxiety, that people, you watch that Diddy documentary, people was popping up dead. People, I'm about to tell all story. Ooh, overdose.
Yeah, I ain't even
Heart
watched that
attack.
shit.
People
I
are
ain't
come
watched
up missing, and that can literally stagnate or put real fear into people when it's time to move against a system that can literally, you know.
System person. Yeah, influence is heavy, man. Like, what would you do for a Klondike bar, right? People willing to sell whatever, man. They willing to take anything on the chin to get what they want and desire, you know? There were times, like, there were some stories, man. So, like, Omega Sci-Fi, right? One of the key rules is ain't nobody gonna ask you to join this shit, right? So we ain't going to say, hey, you should become a Q. You know, there's an interest meeting with people who come to the interest meeting, or there's people who make inquiries. Ain't nobody saying, yeah, you should do it. Hell no. Nah. Members versus men, right? You rather have the few, like how the Marines say, right? The I'd rather have 10 good than 100 mediocre or bad, you know? And there ain't no invites. You know, you come to the meeting, if you whatever, then you go through the process. The other fraternities, they don't have that same rule. And people wanted it so bad, they would pay to get it. They would pay to get an opportunity. Buying people shit from lunch to fucking cars. You know what I mean? Like, just to get an opportunity to get on the line that you may not even make it through, but just the opportunity to do so. Right? Because that influence, right? They willing to tuck their tail. You know?
To be accepted. Yeah. The acceptance of it all. The acceptance, like how far you willing to go. Right? And I never think people ever really bargain. They don't truly understand what they signing up for when they signing that paper. You know, you ain't read that whole 360 deal. You don't really understand that they're going to make millions of dollars off your likeness and you ain't going to see a dime of it. And even if you ever try to leave and go produce something on your own, they're going to take that too.
They're going to take that too. You know, I was looking at a D60 deal just because somebody was reviewing it after the fact, and it was like, we get this percentage of your name, image, and likeness and anything you produce in perpetuity in the universe. If you go to space and sell something, they get their part. That's the language they putting in those contracts. So this, I just saw this video, right? So we're looking at the allegation at Donnie, right? Is he the we fall down and get up nigga?
Yes.
So you're looking at the influence, you're looking at the wolf, we're looking at the faction, we're looking at the wolf within the faction that creates the faction. It's a faction of wolves. This says this title, but you know, people be clickbaiting with titles, so I haven't listened to it. But it says Donnie McClurkin testimony about his struggle with homosexuality. Is this true? Do you know anything about this?
I never heard about it.
We are in a very, very dangerous point. And our children are being lost. But they're being lost in the house. They're being lost in the house. They're being lost right here in the house. And they're covered by music. And they're covered by gifts. But they're being lost in the house. They have been failed on many points. They have been failed on many points. They have been raised without fathers. They have been left empty and hurt. And the very ones of us who have been their forefathers have failed. Hear me, please. Very ones of us that were over the generations failed, myself included. And now they're being tainted by people in their generation. They're being tainted and they're being turned by people in their generation. We talk about the Tonay situation, and it is only turning their hearts further away from God and making them believe that such conversation is real when it is not real. It is not real. It is not real.
Check the comments. They may have a timestamp.
But young people,
These churches be too big.
they talk about being real. They're not comfortable being real.
Press that button right there, yeah.
I went to Mason's Temple and I sat in the musicals. No. Where are the fathers? We have many instructors, but we don't have many fathers. Where are the fathers that will embrace the boys and say, no, he can't have you, he won't have you.
You on mute.
Ain't no timestamp. So here's the thing, right? So he been fighting with homosexuality. They said he was molested. You know, we looked this up a bunch of times, but they said people who go through that most people don't then do that to others. They don't perpetuate that same behavior. Mm-hmm. We had looked it up one day. There was an argument going back and forth. Obviously there's that dude, and now he has his allegation. And now this video appears to be about 10 or 15 years ago. And now this allegation comes out today. You know, so he's wrestling with a thing. It sounds like he was counseling this guy. This guy was a helper in the church, administrator, trying to pray his gay away, I guess, via an email. But it appears that Donnie still has those proclivities. You know?
Yeah. And it's so terrible because, you know, we talked about the situation with the Tylil guy, right? And the false accusers, right? So not only are we battling, which is why I say people like that they're really worse than anything, because that's what puts the benefit of doubt, gives people the benefit of the doubt, right? Is that people will lie. That people will lie. So the people who are really going through these things have a real uphill battle, because some people just want to destroy you. Some people just want to exploit you. Some people just want a piece of the settlement money. You know, we've seen that with the Amber Heard girl. We've seen that, you know, with different people who literally tell lies and you get in court and the stories are dismantled. Or the woman who went into the Facebook message that you showed, who apologized, saying, look, my family wasn't, you know, was trying to get some money in. I'm sorry. When them sorries don't do nothing. So when those things happen, it's like you not only don't care about the person that you're victimizing, you don't care about victims in the world. Because you are making shit 10 times harder. You're making the burden of proof harder than it has to be. So if I know I've been victimized and I gotta go up against such a powerful thing, just like kind of like with Cassie, like it's no win in that situation. People think it's the money, but you got all of your pain exploited in the world, and D's gonna come home. And they set, and the powerful people set up things. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's more about power than it is strength. You know, I saw the conversations we was having like with men and women, right? And you know, Clarissa's always calling out the boys, right? Like she's always trying to fight men. Clarissa Shields. And I said, I wonder how many boys she could beat up in Discord. Like I wonder how many could get in the ring and she could get them, right?
Yeah.
Because they always talking about that. But then I think about it, I'm like, the strength, powerful people have thought past strength, right? Because we know the elephant and the giraffe and rhinos, they might be the most powerfulest things in this world, heaviest things, but man found a way to put them in a zoo and exploit them, right? So it's like, I'm pretty sure you could knock President Trump out. This is not a threat to Trump, but go try. You can't even get to that nigga. Nobody can actually just go ahead and knock him out and say, I'm a president now. That's not how power is set up. So when we talk about power, it's way more dangerous threat than people with just broad strength, because they got policies and all type of things to protect the people who are doing the wrong shit.
Yeah, 100%, man. Wait. I understand that part. Wait, boy.
Yeah, I think Clarissa could beat some of the men up in Discord. I know that's where you about to go.
Yeah, like how do we go? We started there, but what? No,
because you know, on one of them shows, somebody said they was gonna push Dr. G down, break her tailbone.
No, not Dr. G down, not Dr. G specifically. Black America was saying, like, I guess, yeah, the dynamics between men and women.
Okay, and Shad was like, men be dreaming like about abusing women, like they be having any fantasies about that, right? Because we talked about it in Discord. I didn't get to see the episode, I was asleep, but just within it, I was like, the mindset of the strength thing is like, people have thought for that. People have passed that point of you thinking you're gonna run the world because you're the strongest person. We'll find other ways around that. And men have found other ways around that. So the levels of what we consider to be a weak man is totally different now. Because you don't have to be the physically strong man to not be the weakest. Because as we can see, look who the most powerful men is. I don't think Trump could get in the ring with Clarissa. I think Clarissa could take him.
Yeah, power takes many forms. Yeah, for sure. It takes many forms. Influence is power. Weakness is power. What you think of that?
Weakness is power.
Yeah. At the very least, the facade of it. Right. You can manipulate a whole lot.
When you're
being
weak.
like a damsel.
Yeah.
Or
I
if
think
my
that's women's power, right?
yeah, that's what I'm
Women's
saying.
power. So a
Mhm.
woman might not be able to fight you, but she probably can have sex with a man strong enough to line you up. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I don't have to actually kill you. I can have sex with this man over here, and he'll get the job done.
Yeah,
That's the way
leveraging that, or saying this man is a bad man. He did something to me.
Yeah.
Oftentimes that's enough.
That you don't even have to. You can just call the police.
Yeah.
You can just go tell the authorities. You can lie. We seen a thin line between love and hate. You can hurt yourself and say somebody else did it to you.
Yeah. It's interesting about just Clarissa and she has a level of delusion in that talk. Like she's saying up to she can beat professional fighters.
Yeah. That's what I said. I said, me and Chiki was talking about it. We was like, you think she could beat HAMP? We was like, HAMP or kill that girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? We was thinking about that. We was like, we don't think she could beat you. But she be literally wanting to fight people who, you know what I'm saying? Men who fight other men like that.
Yeah, that it just don't make a lot of sense. One of my first trainers is named Helen Joseph. She's a professional fighter. She was a Nigerian champion. She's over here now, and she had a few spars with Clarissa, and then her and I spar. I think it was on video. Matter of fact, up here.
Yeah, I saw it.
But she just not. The punches don't hurt. Like they just don't hurt. But her and Clarissa was going at it. I wish I could. I can't find it though. But it just like that shit don't hurt. You 160 pounds, 170 pounds, right? Like your bone density, the weight, it's just not there,
No, because she a woman, but what about a 120-pound man?
For me?
Yeah.
No, he gotta walk it off. He get mad at me, he gotta walk it off.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean 120 pounder versus Clarissa.
120 pounds is mad small. Clarissa fought at heavyweight. She was like 170 at one point, 175. Yeah, I think 175 woman, 175 man is much different. The muscle mass is so much different. A woman at 180 pounds, she probably at 25 years old, 30 years old, Shrell, she probably 40% fat damn near.
Yeah.
Like 35, just because y'all composition is different, And even like when they make, so like when the police officers, the trials, it's not just arbitrary numbers. They're kind of like, what's the average woman can run a mile in, And there's just a disparity, 1 to 2 minutes, difference between men and women. But
and yeah, the average, because the averages never add up. But I think the overall point was when I came up with that concept was kind of like I was riding through the, coming back home, and I was looking at the woods, and I was like, at some point we used to live in the woods, right? So like we know like female lions hunt, and we know at some point we were stronger as people because we wasn't so
civilized.
Yeah, like we're so civilized, like we got microwaves and washing machines and everything is just here. So it's like we are a weaker society. We are the average of us, the average man, average woman can't go hunt, fish, have these survival tools and things like that. That's something elite that you can't have. Yeah. So people who are in the elite class, if it's a woman or a man, they are like top percent because that's not what people are thinking about on their everyday. Just because most things are just easy to get. So when you're in that, you can't fight the power because you're literally a controlled environment now. You think that you want to fight a system that can shut off the power grids, and now you don't have electricity until you act right.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's like the playing fields are just different, like strength. And this influence is probably the greatest strength that you can wield at this point, because people one dude jumped into a tiger cage to try to do like a skit, and the tiger mauled him to death. Remember Boot Gang? Influence, right? Doing anything for influence. I think he finally got himself straight, but it just that. And so when we look at the Opps versus allies, and we looking at the faction within, which is the church construct, and then you look at the people who lead it. I would argue, Sherelle, this is probably one of the top 5 things that really kept us in perpetual state of just mediocrity or being downtrodden. I was looking up some numbers, but then I don't think they're good numbers. But they're saying churches are bringing in billions of dollars a year. I think there's some truth to it, but it didn't have, ChatGPT didn't have a good source, but yeah,
You could start a church at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, I was looking on a thing on how to start a church. Like it's not that hard. But what I could say is like when we look at those things, the best thing for us to do, because we always want to take it to the let's just go strictly, let's just fight the power. Like a lot of this is just your minds, freeing your minds from being a sheep. That be your hardest challenge, and you're fumbling with that. We fumble with that, right? So we can't change the world by going out in the world. A lot of this has to be changed within ourselves, because that is how the power structure is made and designed, right? So the same way a victim might be looking at how do I go up against the church, it's the same way me and you might look at how do we take down the government that has the power to turn off the power grid and shut off our lights. How do I go up against my pastor who has the power to ostracize me and throw me out of the community, and that'll affect me and my family?
Question.
How do I go up against the music industry and these big wigs when they have the power to take my life or the lives of the people that I love?
What do you think? Is there a difference between, is this a genderless thing?
Yeah, it's pretty genderless.
Genderless,
because I think they.
Well, let me just give it, and then you can answer in totality. When we look at the church, right, there is significantly less men in the churches.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they saw it? Do you think they were just being forced to go in the first place? Like, does that help us at all? Try to maybe figure this thing out?
Yeah, I think the church is not even designed to keep them in, just because I don't think men are good followers, right? Men they will be like, okay, you said that, but you move like this. Like men, they're not the easiest people they're not good sheep, basically. You see what I'm saying? I just have to tell somebody that all cows are girls, but yeah, it's like they're not good sheep. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is. But like I said, I honestly believe that the church is a predatory ship for men more than it is women. The little boys are abused there. You know what I'm saying? And we our little boys, they could be 4 years old saying something is gay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't. That's just something about men. Like men ain't gonna be nowhere where they do shit to little men. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, they be up in there touching little boys. It something goes in their mind. They're like, well, that's not where I want to be.
And men don't, and women don't, huh?
Women are so. I think women are so desensitized to abuse because it's normal. They are prey.
So they can't see.
They don't see it outside of it because they are prey.
And
all their lives, they don't have they don't have it in them.
That's a bad setup, man. For more just dumb shit. Damn, man. And
because the boys grow up, right? The women had their sons in the church, and then the boys never come back to church.
Yeah.
That's why it's an easy place to prey on little boys, because there's not enough real men in there. Dads might send their wives and children to church, but daddy ain't coming to church.
Yeah, that used to happen in us. Yeah, that used to happen. Like we used to go. My dad went every so often. You know, because nobody can make him go.
When he fall asleep, then he used to say he was meditating. That's what my daddy used to say.
Hell
He used to
no.
be knocked out in there. I'm like, so you get to go to sleep. You're like, I ain't sleep, I'm meditating. Why are you meditating on these people's sermon?
He didn't say shit. He just went to sleep. And I forget it's me and my three brothers, and we all leaned to the left in a row. It did. He was like, y'all ready? And we be home before the Patriots play. You know? So it just, but we need to have that conversation. We need to identify the wolf, because there's no way women can't identify wolves, though. Like, if you've been prey all your life, you have to be able to identify that shit.
Women be so unaware. We got to keep teaching women. You would think that somebody was telling me the other day, it was like, how people don't know how to raise kids? Ain't they been doing that shit since the beginning of the time? You would think motherfuckers been perfected that by now, huh?
Yo, Sherelle, based on the concept that you conveyed, since the tables has turned and brawn is no longer as important, does that automatically make women prey anymore, or is it much more even?
It's gonna be always, because women, the average woman will never be stronger than the average man. The most elite woman will never be more stronger than the right. So our strongest boxer, our fastest runner, our whatever, you put that against y'all fastest runner, the strongest man, it's like it's not even a question. Y'all always have an answer for that.
But to your earlier point, right? Because everything's so civilized, you know, people act like they're just as strong as one another, and so with the current construct in the society that we live in, with estrogen in men being higher than it ever has, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that still hold true that women are automatically just prey based on today's society?
No, yeah, I still think it's true. I think it's less. I think society is the safest it's ever been for women today, right? So just within that construct, yeah. But I still don't think that even with all the estrogen in the world, the average man can take advantage of the average woman if that's what he wanted to. I think the thing that makes us more safe is men being able to self-govern. The fact that he can walk past a crowd full of women that he probably can physically harm, and he just chooses not to physically harm them because he's like, for what? I'm not even thinking about you bitches. Like, I'm going to work. I care about my life and the shit I got going on. I don't want to go out and harm random women. It's not my thing, you know?
My ministry. Yeah. No, it's a crazy thing, man. But yeah, this type of wolf, this type of faction, and that'd be the worst of this, right, Sherelle? That'd be the worst, right? People will be, you know, under you. You got a conglomerate. You building a thing, right? And then they start to feel a type of way for whatever the reasons are, or they just want to build their own thing, and they say, I could do it better than this person, right? You know, that's how a lot of shit start. Everybody want to be the man just cause, you know?
Yeah.
And then they within the thing that you creating and building, you know, but they whispering here, whispering there, saying bad thing here, bad thing there, not showing as much interest here, not showing as much interest there. The support starts to look different or dissipates, you know? And then they just whisper to this person whisper to that person whisper to this person, right? And now you something that they created that 5 people agree with, and now it's a thing.
Yeah, so that's the way that I wanted to kind of deal with the factions, because I don't necessarily think that factions are a bad thing, right?
Okay.
Not in its in a way that it was supposed to be. I'm gonna send you a link. In a way that we're supposed to break factions down, right? But then I'm gonna like kind of bring it more to a real world, even like examples like of us here in our community. So more than likely, mostly factions are supposed to actually be, you know, things where we delegate people's gifts or talents where they belong, right? You're good at this, you're good at this, you're good at this, you're good at this. And this is how we build a larger community.
Okay. Okay, hold on. I have to log in real quick.
You logged out your TikTok?
I don't know. I don't know how it happened.
It probably was Rob.
Hey, B, you stay over here playing with the DJ stuff. You know, I tell her not to.
She gonna be DJ Rock on the ones and twos? Huh?
She always in here, man. All right. Let me see. Just need any account. Wait, so that one said I don't even have an account. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. Oh, goodness. You had to share your shit.
How I share mine? I can't share mine. I'm not on a computer. I'm not on a computer.
Oh, gotta be one of these.
It don't just pull up on the internet. You have to be logged in.
Yeah, it said I gotta log in to look at it. Maybe it's this one.
And it's a quick one too.
All right. I got it.
Okay.
5 groups, factions, to keep the peace. The smart ones, the ones who value knowledge and logic, are an erudite. They know everything. Amity farm the land. They're all about kindness and harmony, always happy. Candor value honesty and order. They tell the truth, even when you wish they wouldn't. And then there's Dauntless. They're our protectors, our soldiers, our police. I always thought they were amazing, brave, fearless, and free. Some people think Dauntless are crazy, which they kind of are. My faction is Abnegation. The others all call us Stiffs. We lead a simple life, selfless, dedicated to helping others. Because we're public servants, we're trusted to run the government. And they divided us.
Okay.
Right? So.
But this how I was looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dissenting. See, it goes against or has a variance that's not positive in terms of what the larger group, like the way in which the larger group is moving.
Yeah.
So that's how I was kind of breaking it down.
No, I was breaking it down like that too, but that was telling you that's the origin, right? So when I brought it to you, I'm bringing it to you with the definition you're looking at, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when the faction becomes a fraction. So in the organization, that when people created faction, it was to keep peace, to delegate people like, okay, you're the gardeners, you're the protectors, you're this. Everybody has their role to play. So we separate you so that we can go to become the bigger one. But now factions become fractions, and that's when it's a division. It's divided, it's less, right?
Yeah.
And because now the factions core system is no longer for the larger group. It's all about them and moving in their own direction.
Yeah. So what do? You give people an opportunity to create something positive, right? And then they perverse it. What do? Do you not give the opportunity?
I mean, we're gonna always have to. I mean, people gonna always perverse it. Okay, so this is why I'm thinking that it will happen, right? Because I don't really know about the men, but I understand the factions within women, right?
Okay.
Okay, so we have married women, right? They're a faction alone. Majority of their support system will be other married women, their friends and colleagues and things. Married women support married women, right? And then you have single women, right? And single women are in two different factions. It's single women with no kids. It's single women with kids, right? The baby mamas. These women tend to group together, right?
Yeah.
They're all different factions. Then you have your 304s, and this is a wide range of girls who strip, sell, whatever, right? Now, any of these factions could, everybody can mingle. But if you've ever met a girl and all of her friends sell vagina, it's probably because she's, you know what I'm saying? The only women you find like that is because we're all sticking together, because we're all in this same unit, right? And then within that unit, outside of it is like the LGBT community, right? There's only two factions in the Black community that are co-ed, and that's the married people and LGBT. Married people have a support of men and women. LGBT people, they group together whether they're male, female, or not. And of course, we have hierarchies in all of these ranks. But typically, these factions need things that support them that may not be supportive to the larger group, right? Now, the supreme group of all the factions are the married people. And the pool that they exist in, right? Because it's a big old pool that's here. And then there's outside pools, right? The married people, the idea is for everybody to be in their pool, right? So these are usually our leaders. These are usually the ones talking. These are usually the ones. So it's, let's say you and Omar, right? So we may come up against you, and y'all may seem like very humbling in a way where y'all want to tell us like we're not qualified to talk or things like that. But you were speaking about the well-roundedness of things, right? So I understand that my faction, single women with no kids. I understand that majority of my support will come from other single women with no kids, and that our faction does not benefit the community as a whole, right? So when we speak, it seems as we're speaking against the power source, because the married people feel like, no, the best thing for y'all pool to do is jump in this pool over here, right? But single women with no kids are, hey, y'all have sharks in y'all pool, and y'all don't want to deal with that. When we tell y'all about the sharks, y'all tell us why we deserve to be bit, why we deserve to be attacked. You're not doing anything with your sharks, so we're going to stay in our pool because it's safe here, right? So that's where the conflict comes. And now it's not a fraction, it's a fraction. Because now you're not longer, you're anti the other factions. So it's not just that I'm single with no kids, I'm also anti-marriage. I'm against the pool. I want to sow seeds to stay away from the pool. But the people on that pool are saying this is the best pool to be in. It may have this, and things, but it's more protection over here. It's more systems over here that, you understand what I'm saying? So they understand that, but nobody's ever been in that pool, so people can't see that worldview, right? But you saying, I've accomplished this, I've accomplished that, I've accomplished this, I've accomplished that. I've showed leadership here, I've showed leadership here. I have a level of success that gives me the authority to speak on these things, right? But still, you're the leader, which I think, why you could get so much flack as being HAMP, because you're a leader of so many different factions, so many different personalities, so many people going a different way. And I want, and people can feel special, right? Because you're my friend. So I want you to be on my side all the time, right? But what if somebody that I don't like feels the same way about you? And they want you to be on their side all of the time. So do you understand how hard it is for you to be here trying to control a bunch of people who either want to go different ways or want to go their own way, when you have one goal in mind for everybody to come together? That's your hardship. But there's people in here that's like, nope, we love HAMP, we support HAMP, we'll deal with HAMP, but fuck his community. Because I don't like people in the community. So I'm gonna break the rules, and I will do whatever, but I still support him. And I think we don't focus on enough of how much can we remove ourselves from the vision of it all, because we have so much personal gain to gain. You understand what I'm saying? That I need this thing for me. And then when do you become a harm to the community when your interest is greater than the community's interest? Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying with the factions and how it becomes the fractions. But the thing is also what you're dealing with is the reason why many a times things become a fraction is ostracization and abuse. Our damaged people, our ostracized, our abused, they are also a op, because they no longer want to continue a community that steps on them.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer want to support something that I get not accepted by. Why should I, right? So we get into this with the super guys and the nerds. Okay, but you want me to build with you. But you also want to clown. You want me to build with you, but you also want to punch down on me. And you want me to get up and build with you and keep it real with you. But how do you really feel about me? Because I'm a part of this community, and if I'm invisible to this community, then why should I care about it? If I always got to be the butt of the joke. If what I think and what I feel doesn't matter, why is my contribution important if I'm not important? Right? But you're the person at the top, and you can see where, hey, even though y'all two don't get along, you do this well, and this is beneficial to the community. You do this well, and it's beneficial to the community. But that's why you're the leader. And that's why everybody can't be the leader, because you have to show up even if you're mad, even if you disagree. You have to you're good at finding the benefits. And sometimes you have to show people, hey, I know you don't like this about Shad, but you kind of actually do the same thing in that same way. And I know you don't like this about Sherelle, but you kind of do this in that same way. You don't like Arnold because of this, but you kind of do this in that same way. And you don't like Sporties, but you kind of do this in that same way. So when it's time to crucify Sherelle, who gonna throw the rock? If all of us got that same bullshit in us, we all got the same modus operandi of, I want to do whatever the fuck I want to do when I want to do it. And so that shows up differently because we different people. But if everybody has that modus operandi, how do we go anywhere? But people think, oh, well, all HAMP got to do is this, HAMP got to do is that, HAMP got to do is this, right? But HAMP is the one that has to deal with a whole bunch of people that have the same modus operandi that he can clearly see. All of y'all do the same shit. But when your name is called, all the hands are pointing at somebody else. What about them? What about them? And what about them? And what about them? But you're thinking, what about the community that we're supposed to be building? And how do we move forward if we can't check our own behaviors and our own selves and the things that we're doing to be destructive?
Believe, man, that shit. It's a lot. It's a lot of that, man, for sure. Yeah, and that's why the faction. I understand the fracture aspect. That's why it fractures things. which is why you call it a faction in the first place, right? That's why you know the definition and understand it, and so eventually it's going to fracture, right? Because it is a faction, right? And those people are inclined to something that isn't in full support of the greater goal, and that thing that they have an inclination to also doesn't support the hierarchy of things, which you just said. I'm just kind of saying it in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's hard for us to get out our own way. It's super, super easy to make myself a victim in any story. And we be seeing that shit. You be seeing that shit. That's why the word, and I used this word like 2 weeks ago, the word insidious be popping in my head, right? Because it's just a creeping thing that builds negativity, and it's easy to find something wrong and then point the finger, because the thing you find wrong is because of what you're inclined to like or believe or align with. Not that it is wrong, but from your purview, based on your faction, is wrong to you or doesn't support you. And therefore, by proxy, the structure doesn't support you either, or the leader doesn't, right? If they don't chastise or admonish things or people that speak against your proclivity.
Right. And which is why we can't just people together with no structure, no order, no leaders. That's Sodom and Gomorrah. Nobody can't be checked. So everything's out of order. Nothing can't be checked. We started the Bible in a year, right? You got 365 days to read it. And just the understanding of Babel, of why Babel was dangerous. Because these people are trying to build a society that can't be checked. They think they so smart, they could get the God. They think they can outsmart God. And you would think, well, wow, they were so smart. That's great, but that's dangerous. For you to even go in your mind to think that you could outsmart or build a tower to question or combat the being that could actually snap the fingers and change your languages and make you all disperse.
Oh yeah.
Because why would your mind fathom that? And God can understand that that's a broken place for your mind to be, because you're setting yourself up for desired failure. And we understand that when you fail at that level, that we allow you to stay together and build a tower and you still can't defeat God. What does that do to your psyche? What does that do to who you think that you are?
Yeah.
When you think that you can go against what my intention of your creation was. Right? So you think that you can outdo me. And I think a lot of times in society, we're just suffering from us feeling like, hey, I know this is what you want, but I'm gonna show you what I want. And then God just gives us the opportunity to be like, show me what you want. Show me that you know better than me. Because that always works for us, right?
Yep.
That always does the thing. So a lot of times you just got to think like, hey, you may not like Sherelle. You may want her to never come back. But is that what HAMP wants? Does HAMP want her to run off and be like, well, you know what, I'm done? If she brings a level of value to the community that we need, is that the smart decision? Because I don't like her. So I want her gone. So I don't care what she means to everybody else. Because it'll make me happier if she disappeared. But you, the person who thinks like that, who doesn't think, well, what would HAMP want? Well, what would the community want? Can I swallow this? Can I find another way to move around this for all of us to be able to coexist? because it's not going to be an opportunity for everybody to just think that we all going to have the same mind, same thoughts, always agree, always get along. So what role are you planning being the antagonist to run people off when the objective is to grow?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting dynamic. We assume the person who's running away is the victim. You see, there's some interesting nuances around it all. You know, I remember as a freshman, I was playing varsity, and I made this tackle, and I got up, and we cheering. One dude pushes me in the back, and I turn around and push him, and the ref threw a flag on me. You know what I mean? So I guess retaliating is not. I'm also wrong, you know, but I'm responding to a catalyst that was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but when you look like then everything after that, yo, hey, why did you do that? Why you do that? Because I got the flag. Oh, he pushed me in the back. They like, oh, word. You know, but it's why you do that. You know.
Yeah, and when people notice that,
Mm.
right? When people notice that you threw the rock, you hit your hand, somebody knocked you out, and now you're the knocked out person, and there's people who saw you throw the rock.
Yeah.
And people are like, but you're knocked out. So that's what you think people should care about. I just got knocked out. But too many people saw you throw the rock.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then if you build up a pattern of throwing the rock, you set yourself up for a weird place. Because now you don't have to throw the rock for somebody to knock you out. Because you don't got to throw the rock. Somebody could knock you out. And people going to automatically think you threw the rock anyway because that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's who you are. So now nobody feels sorry for you.
Yeah. You know what it takes, Sherelle? I got it. People know the overarching goal and the overarching thing that's important, right? To the people who are in charge, just for the sake of better. The people in that faction gotta hold that person accountable. That's the only way they'll listen. They're like, oh, you married, of course you're gonna say that, right? You a guy, of course you're gonna say that. But then if it let's say it's the single woman faction, because you're sitting here, they're like, hey now, don't forget what you did and what you said and what that does to those people that are part of the other faction of the hierarchy. You know what I mean? Like there's things in which his or her faction can say to her or him that will resonate because they're in the same boat. So that you can't talk that shit to me. I'm single too. But I can tell you where you fucked that up at. You see?
Yeah. And that's where the leadership roles, right? So you may be a big leader, but every faction needs its leader, and the leader needs to be them. We can't have single men leading married men. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So just because within that way, somebody does have to check it to where it's like, it has to be accountability and self-reflection on us. I know the role I play. I know what I do. And this is what I do to avoid situations like this. Because every day could be hell. Right? If that's what I chose to wake up on. But if I choose to do that, then whose fault is that? That's me. Right? So we have to actually do that. We actually have to have these conversations. That's why it's good when men are checking men. Because like I said, I don't know y'all factions. I assume y'all say it's men who can get women and men who can't. Then that's y'all factions. Right?
Yeah.
So y'all have a more in depth, and
more
I don't really like a lot of times when I talk, I'm talking to the women not to scold them, but to build awareness and bring us up because this is my faction. This is who I can understand. I never understand what it feels like to be a man, to move around in the world as a man.
So I understand that. Now, one thing you mentioned that is also very important in the structure of the entirety, right? The factions make a community, right? Just for sake of conversation. The hierarchy, remember you mentioned it. So if what you're telling about the women, what you're telling them also doesn't support the hierarchy, what do we do with that messaging? So if married people are at the top, And the messaging to your faction is building awareness, but that awareness then hurts the hierarchy in terms of marriage not being the goal. What do we do with that information or that conversation?
Yeah, and so that's the thing, right? That's where it's
Mhm.
always going to be a dismantle, because some women don't want to be married. Some women and gay people are not going to be straight, right? These
Mhm.
people still need to exist, and that will always be the conflict for the married people, right? So I think that the married men would be the highest in leadership, right? Because these are the people who've shown. I mean, and it's not just something that I feel. It's not something that just you feel. When have we ever had a president who didn't have a family?
Yeah, we understand. Yeah, people
Right?
will acknowledge that for sure.
Yeah, so we understand that or whatever. But like I said, when people aren't in your pool, if people are in my faction swimming 3 feet and your pool is a 12-foot pool, but only people who can swim in 12 feet need to come over here, right? And understand it to make sure that we're trained to go over there. But if we're not trained to go over there, it don't make no sense, right? Because that's what we need to understand, is that if somebody's coming over there to put shit in your pool, you shouldn't even want them in there, right? You shouldn't even want nobody coming to your pool to disrupt things. So like people say that, like, so what do you want? You don't want, yeah, if only the only people that get married and have kids are healthy individuals who are really going to be committed to that, and all we do is have healthy Black couples that raise healthy Black kids, then I'm okay with that.
Okay. Yeah, see, and that's the key. That's how you can like say, listen, that shit is not easy. And we want marriage right. We don't want marriage wrong. Right? Stop me if I make a mistake. Okay? In your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We were made to be together, right? But we have to function properly to be successful. Otherwise, we bring people in this earth that perpetuate the hell that they lived through.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make sure your shit is together. You're right. You ready to do all the things you don't want to do before you go and get in that pool.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not willing to sacrifice yourself, don't get in that pool.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to stay single, here's the things that we need to do to be successful.
Yes, and that's exactly what it is, right? Because if you can't make it in this, you're gonna drown over there, right? This is what I'm saying, that you have to be a whole woman, a whole ass woman, before you think you're gonna be anything to a man, the actual man, right? Because we can talk about bitch ass niggas all the time. The girl was just saying her boyfriend gay, right?
Yeah.
Her baby daddy gay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but are you even the woman that could have a whole ass man? Or are you only the woman that can be with a bitch ass nigga? And does that satisfy you? And that's something that you need to check within yourself, right? And we don't want to shame you in front of men or embarrass you in front of men. So if you think we're trying to shine on, because that'll take the pick me away, right? Take the pick me away. Take the male influence away. You just said you wanted to do a hunting thing. You said none of the women ain't coming. Why? Some women show up. Now niggas acting weird. No. So it needs to be in that way where women are allowing women, hey, if you're gonna be a wife, you actually need to know how to take care of your finances. You actually don't need to be in debt. You actually don't need to have bad credit. You actually need to know these things to be a good wife and a good mother. You actually need to have a level of modesty, have a level of self-respect, be able to close your legs, because if you can't control these things, how are you going to be a good wife?
Yeah. Real shit.
If you don't come to a self-actualization here, how are you? Because if you're supposed to be going into the big pool, that's a contribution pool. Those are the people who are building the world. A lot of times they say, like, they question, like, well, these people who ain't street, what are you talking about? Who you think building institutions? Who you think are coming up with cures for cancer? Who the fuck do you think are in these hospitals saving lives? Who do you think up in here doing brain surgery? Who you think making cars and influencing and building? The people that went in the right pool to say, hey, I'm here to build society. I'm here to make shit better. But you gotta fix that shit first. Within your faction. That's why, I'm not the good person because we can all support each other, right? Different factions are moving around to support what we can. I think single women with no children support women with no children, whether they're married or single. You know, but I think it takes mothers who have children to talk to other mothers who have children and say this baby mama shit ain't it. Because when I say it, I sound dumb as fuck because I don't have kids. And then all of a sudden they come up with the notion that I'm barren or whatever, right? That I can't have kids because that's, or I, you know what I'm saying? Whatever negative connotation, because those women don't go into a place in their brain that says women can be responsible with their reproductive system. Only women who've been responsible with their reproductive system have that modus operandi, unfortunately, right? But when you come to that understanding that people aren't going to these places in their brain, so you can't necessarily build at the ground level with them. Right?
Yeah,
you can build at the ground level with people who already have the same mindset. Oh, you a married man? Oh, I already know where your values at. I already know that you know a married man come and support his family. You know a husband want work.
Yeah.
A girl that ain't got no kids, she's single. The fuck ass gonna call up every time her period come down.
Yep. No, that's how I mean, you know, they say there's different things they can't ask during hiring. But I'm like, yo, yeah, listen, man, you got a kid, you got this, you got a wife, you got this, you got a husband who you live with your mom. You got to have some type of thing for that kid.
The only people that want you, that'll take you single and childless, is travel jobs because they need your flexibility, right? But if it's a company where you're supposed to grow, and I think women need to understand that's why men get hired more or get in positions more or get promoted more a lot of the times, because we know he ain't getting pregnant and taking and leaving.
Yeah.
Somebody get pregnant, he gonna try to get more hours. You know what I'm saying? You get pregnant, your motherfucking ass is gonna be here for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Or you fucking around talking about you want to stay at home for the rest of your life.
One of my guys, literally, he just had his baby is like 4 months, 3 months, 4 months. This is his first baby, I think. But he'd be like, hey, Hampton, whatever you got, I'll learn how to hang, because he don't know how to hang TVs. And like, hey, listen, I'll learn how to hang TVs, whatever. You know, he got a battery in his back because of the baby, you know? Yeah. Like, I'll do every long distance trip. Don't matter, like, you know, because they can make a whole week in 3 weeks worth of hours in 3 days just because of how I like schedule it, set it up, you know, just to make it worth, you know, going. So yeah, he like anything, you know. So that's the good framing, you know, of the faction aspect. Like, you have to be for the hierarchy, right? Or don't speak against the hierarchy, and you should be able to convey the positives of the hierarchy, you know, and understand if you don't want to perpetuate the negative stereotypes of said hierarchy, then you have to make sure that you're ready before you leave this faction and go to that one.
Yeah, and those are the factions. So Love C would be the leader of the female faction, right? She's married. She can teach you. If you're ready to get out the pool of baby mama, you're ready to get out the pool of single woman, then you go to somebody like Love C, and she can give you that insight. You understand what I'm saying? On how to be a good wife, on how to be a good mother. And those are the times where we need to collaborate, when it's time to build. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I understand why a married woman might not want to hang out with a single girl who want to be at the club all night. Bitch, we are not in the same lane. We're not in the same pool.
Yeah, 100%. Here's the thing though, right? I've seen when people are left to their own devices, they're not building in a way in which to move up a level, right? So here's what I know. There's 2 running backs. They both fumble. They hang out together. They justifying why they keep fumbling. Oh, the field was slippery. My cleats, they didn't block for me. I got contact before I even got the ball. The handoff was bad. But if they with the running back who never fumbles and gets the most reps and start, they got to shut the fuck up with that, because he getting the ball more times than you. Rain, sleet, snow, he blocking, he playing. You know what I mean? And he's not fumbling. You have to make an adjustment around him. That crybaby shit don't work around him, but it work around the other running back who fumbling. You see,
right?
Y'all both under the same, not rising up to the occasion. You know,
right.
So what is that? What happens is it when you send a Love C every once in a while? Hey, what y'all niggas in here talking about?
So that's the understanding of everybody can't go, everybody don't want to go, right? But they still have to exist. So the community has to exist for them. But this is also the thing. The one of them running backs, if they want to take it to the next level, they're gonna find their way to that nigga who know what he doing. Right? Because at some point he was hanging around them and then he realized these niggas don't know what they're doing. I remember when I was in truck driving school and I used to hang with my friends that I was in school with and I wasn't learning shit. And then I stopped socializing and I started hanging with the niggas who looked like they knew what they was doing. I started getting my reps up. You understand what I'm saying? And I passed my test by the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? So it's just within that you gotta exist in your place. And then it's like, okay, I'm ready to go to them. When you know you're ready to go to the next level, you go. Because if you hang around Love C and you ain't ready to go to the next level, you're gonna be trying to. This is why I think it's dangerous for them to hang with us all the time. Because then you're gonna be trying to convince her on, girl, you sure you like your husband telling you what to do?
Yeah, you're gonna try to convince her on why not, right?
Yeah, you don't think you a slave?
Yeah, and we saying see, but anyone, right? That's what happens.
Anyone, that's just how a married woman in this.
Yo, real shit. My boy, one of my boys, he always bring his wife to everything, right? And this before I met my wife, and I'm like, yo, why you always got Kim with you? You know what I'm saying? And then when you find a woman that you like hanging out with, I'm like, I went to him. I'm like, yo, my bad. I think it was both of them standing. I'm like, my bad, Kim. I was like, why you always here? You know? But then I saw it, but I was trying to, yo, leave her ass home, you know?
Because that's how you was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he didn't judge you for it because he been there, right?
Yeah.
So it's a difference from what, and I think that's the reason why God is the one that gives grace. Because you think you could outthink somebody. I done been there. I done thought that. I done done that. I done did this. You know what I'm saying? So with us, it's like we on the training wheels and you ride motorbikes. But we have to be here. You know what I'm saying? We have to get off the training wheels before we think we could jump on the back of a Harley. And I think that's the preparation. That's why we need the delegations of, hey, I prepare you for this. Your first graders don't need to feel like, oh, I'm not in 12th grade, so I'm dumb. No, everybody needs primary school.
Well, before that part, right? What about this is where it gives me cause for pause about the factions and giving factions credence, right? Because now there's people who aren't leveling up that's still talking as much as the people who have, right? Because they have their own faction to talk in. Here's my cause for pause. People take the path of least resistance too often. So I understand everybody can't go, but is that path of least resistance? That's damn near everybody.
Yeah, everybody love the path of least resistance, and that's why you understand, like, or maybe they just need to be. You know, I think I see it, right? We see, like, eventually, if you don't have no results.
Yeah, eventually
eventually you just gotta be quiet. Right?
Yeah.
Now we may be more understanding because we in the thick of it, right? But so imagine how it is talking to y'all, talking to you and O. Y'all being at the top so long, it's like, girl, get on that fucking bike, take them training wheels off. And you know, we looking at y'all, hey, they don't know how to ride the bike. But you've been doing it so long, it's just like that to you, right? You get in there and you get in there. So that's a part of the Dunning-Kruger effect too. That's why I was telling. I was like, I teach HAMP shit all the time, or whatever, right? But it's the elite people who can have a full-blown conversation and never realize that they're talking over people's head.
So this is where everything comes full circle, right? Well, it comes together. Hold on, let me read this. Can you see this?
No. Well, I can see it now.
Let's see what the $5 says. If the community was filled with only other people like you, would the community thrive or die? Matching Blaze. Salute Blaze. Blaze with the $5 says for the goal. My brother Harrison with the $5 says salute, my G. Aaron says with the $2, why y'all stop passing around the plate? That's all right. We got a few. Yeah, this is important. This is where it comes full circle. Damn, I lost my thought. I thought I lost my train of thought. What did you just say?
I was saying that the people that are elite, they can have a full-blown conversation.
Now
Like people,
this is
intelligent people don't understand that they overtalk
this is
people.
yeah, I
They
got
talk
you.
over people say it.
So this is where it becomes important, right? When I hear something that I'm not as edified on as I would like to be, or I can hear somebody talking about a subject where I'm getting lost, but I kind of get the gist of the subject initially, but I hear their depth, right, in said subject matter. People are just still going back and forth, right? The people, like you said, are gonna go find and sit next to that person. That's not happening. So you got a forum, like if we up here talking, right, and we talking about a subject, I'm gonna talk my shit in that subject if I'm versed in it. You know, what should then happen is, damn, you know a lot about that subject. Can I get with you? Can you teach me something? You help me? And then what'll happen is that person say, oh, you want to actually learn about how I learned this in the process? Now I'm gonna teach you. But in a conversation, I'm giving you, I'm having a conversation. You see what I mean?
Right.
And enough people aren't doing that second step that you said. If they want it, they go get it. They not going to get it. What they do is go back in an echo chamber or a safe place to say that's wrong, that's not right. They don't know what they're talking about. They got an agenda behind what they saying. They got ulterior motives, etc. As opposed to saying, "Damn, let me learn. Let me learn directly from this person." But no, they don't know enough, so they stick on only what they know and make a determination because they don't like it or don't agree with it. See?
Right. Okay, and then it's also up to the leader, right? So this is where you come in, because and going into what Love C said to answer her question, right? So
Oh yeah, she asked that question before too.
do you feel like people who
Feel?
Yeah, I'm saying feel for a reason. How you be saying it?
Mm-hmm.
The people who don't have the same vision or goal in mind should belong in your community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because there's some people who are not moving towards your goal, and that's why they don't want to learn from you. That they can acknowledge that you have successful results, but they don't want that. Not for themselves.
Mm.
And I think it only becomes detrimental when they want to pass that on to other people. Because I don't want what he has, then nobody should want what he has. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it takes the right person to say, I need to come to you so you could, the person that's going to come to you to say, teach me this Bible, ain't the same man that's going to go to Omar to say, tell me about this Quran. Because it's two motorcycle rendis, right? So what happens when the people who like, I don't want none of that shit. I'm just here for entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I just want to fuck around.
You know what it is? I think most people do this decently, actually. Now that I'm just processing. Like, this conversation isn't like, bitches ain't shit, right? Is there much of offering that people can offer? Maybe. Like, the commentary in the chat is actually pretty solid, people not going so far off the rails. They're just talking about what we talking about, And so I think people notice it's kind of conducive not for me to hit the link here, right? Because they're doing just fine going through what it is we talking about in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably 7 different conversations I'm looking at. They're going back and forth, and nobody even talking too crazy right now. Anyway, I'm saying right now, So what I'm just illustrating that people kind of say, okay, let me chill from this one, because I don't know enough about this shit, or I'm it's a process. They working through a process, When usually if we saying just the regular conversations, people will be more inclined to hit the link because they think they understand it.
Yeah, and I respect that because people will listen, right? And that's great because like sometimes I shut up, like, child. Sometimes y'all begin when they start talking about politics. I know you be going to eat a sandwich. Yeah, I know. You talking about Love C with her grapes, but every time that camera go off, him be up back there eating steak. But,
I do. I like the politics shit, but I be asking questions because they be knowing.
Yeah, because they be more versed in certain things than us, right? So that's just sometimes when you gotta listen. I think we do well with that, right? When it's a good conversation, people can get into it and flow with it, right? But it's a problem when you want to disagree just to disagree.
Yeah. 100%. Like people just for the sake of that don't help nobody, you know. And so I think people create groups, you know. And that's why I love football, because it makes sense for everything. We have factions, right? Without the dissentive part, those teams aren't successful, you know. But I think that's a part of the definition. So like we have D-line, right? And so I coach D-line directly. And you can't play D-line if you can't do certain things, right? So the head coach would be like, Hamp, can you please try Brantley on the D-line? I'm like, coach, that nigga is not tough enough. So he'll come over there the first day, right? And the other D lineman will be like, come on, like, you know, because they know they're gonna pay for every one of his mistakes. So we in the middle of doing our 100th up down for the practice. And they like, coach, send that motherfucker back over there to the O-line. We don't want this nigga. Because he didn't have that thing. So the first thing he did, he came out there with sleeves on, so they had to run for that because we don't wear sleeves. We play D-line. You know, he fell. He had a back plate on. We had to cut that off, and they had to run for that. You know, he walked to the water, so he was maybe one step from the sideline. He walked to the water. They all had to come back. Nobody got water. He put his hands on his hips once. We got to run. Nobody, like, you know, so at the end, they dog tired fucking with him. Because in the faction of the D-line, you got to be built mentally and physically strong. And sending him mid-season did him a disservice, you know? But we all have the same goal to win the game, right? These guys aren't selfish. It's just their work rate is different, you know? So even with them, we have those different groups, but we have the same goal, though. I guess that's the key.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. Also, after practice, they still have their cliques, right?
Yeah.
So just within that also, because a lot of times, like I said, it would be more comfortable being somewhere having a conversation where it's more women centric because nobody gives you pushback, right? So people are questioning, why do you put yourself here? Why do you put yourself around a man but how do you sharpen yourself? How if you're in an echo chamber, whoever challenges the way you think, the way you move, how do you evolve? At some point, you got to hit the gridiron.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that is the dangers. And I think that's what you was kind of speaking of, the dangers of staying in the echo chamber where everybody, yeah, sister girl, or yeah, brother girl, and we're not evolving because we're choosing to stick around people who don't want to evolve. And we will always have that, right? We'll always have people who want to stay locked into poor mindsets, right? And then that is when we implement separation, right? Because remember, I told you, we be ODing with everybody can't go and be the main ones ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We be ODing with the separation. But when people become cancerous, you have to cut cancer from the body because we understand what it'll do. And you rather lose that one titty than to let that cancer spread to your brain.
Yeah, it's a fact. Lopsided like a motherfucker.
I got a cousin with one titty, and it's a big titty too. It's a double D, but she had a lopectomy, so she only got one.
Damn. Well, had to do it. Damn, man. It's interesting, man. Tyson said hook me up is crazy. It is interesting, just all the dynamics when you lead in a small group, large group, right? People have the things that they come from, they experience, you know, we wear our experience, you know. Our experience is seemingly the best teacher. However, it leaves a lot of us difficult to edify, you know, because we think we know, because we think we've been through it, you know, and we think there's kind of only one way to skin a cat, even though we say there's many ways to do things. You know, we kind of fall on what's most comfortable to us or most recognizable. What's the word I'm looking for? Not recognizable, but most I guess recognizable to us.
Familiar. That's what you want.
Familiar. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
the
he be-
cheers thing where everybody wants to go where they know your name.
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
it feels good. Like, and these are your people, right? Because this stuff. So it feels good to come in and then everybody's like, whoa, Hamp, what's up? You know what I'm saying? When we come here in the morning, we read through the comments, everybody like, really, Hamp, da da da. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That feels good to be with your people, like, you know, because we
Yeah.
travel, right? We go to other people's channels and shout out to the whatever other panels we be on, right?
Mhm.
But it don't hit the same, you know, when you at
Mhm.
home and it's your people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know everybody in the chat. You know,
Yeah.
it's a different feel. So
Yeah.
no, I
And-
definitely understand that. And this is not the first time, right? We can study other groups and organizations. Because like I said, I kind of was thinking of the Black Panthers.
Mhm.
And just like a brief, because we almost at the 3 hour mark, but how it started as one thing and then it turned into another thing because they had everything, right?
Mhm.
They started off as a community, then they broke into 2 factions, 2 different leaders on which way we should represent. One's more community based with the help the women and children, feed this and this, and one with the militant, let's kill people, da 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 da, for boots on the ground, and those ideologies clashing and breaking into 2 factions, right? And then we get the wolves in there, right? So that would be like Aldridge, right? He would be a wolf, right? But then you got your agents with the COINTELPRO Pro and how they come in with the FBI, and now you about to dismantle the organization for somebody outside the group by yourself. And with Eldridge, you know, his thing was more poisonous because he was feeding the fuel of the negative concepts of the Black Panthers, right? Even going on to write a book about how he was raping Black girls and to train the great white women and different things like that. And this is what you want to, you're like, you know, you want to orate this movement of Black power, of Black excellence, of Black protection, of Black love, and how we can get the wrong people in these factions, right? And how easy it is to attack once it became a faction, right? Because then the faction turns into a fraction and now it's divided. And now they don't like what you're doing, so they'd rather work with the police. They'll go outside and work with the people that don't even, the people that you actually supposed to be up against in the world. They'd rather work with them than to work with you because of your behavior and how much it went unchecked. And when those powers go unchecked like that, we create the tyrants and we start to allow abuse, right? And now the women are being abused, and now they're, as whereas women could be your best ally, they could be your worst enemy, right? Because now when you're not doing things that's beneficial to them and they're also being abused, they become agents and they're willing to take it down. And they have their stories to tell. It's something that was supposed to be beautiful for building us and protecting us, right? Because they did amazing things. But today we have to talk about the negative.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such an interesting, and you know what it is, man? It's so much. I wish what you said, like the example of the Panthers, is kind of what it is most often. I think though most of the time is everybody want to be the man just cause, and then they'll do whatever they need to do or say to be that or become that, or to make you less of what people may think you are. You know. Like it ain't even nothing. Like what you saying is much more substantive, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying like we see manifestations of things just because. Right? And I think that just because happens so much more where people create a thing and then they want to make sure they push that thing so that it puts you in a negative light or a different light.
Yeah.
You know? And it's a just because factor. It's not even like anybody like bearing down, you know, like what is actually happening, you know, what's actually wrong. But you get rubbed the wrong way in one conversation. Now it's everything going on in the community, you know, when it's really a conversation amongst 2 people in the community. But like you said, people think you're supposed to say something, do something, stop, you know what I mean? And now they're like, oh well, see, they allow it.
Yeah, because and
yeah.
that's your burden, right? As the leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people are looking like, well, HAMP is supposed to have my back.
Mm-hmm.
HAMP is supposed to have everybody back. So how does that look? Because everybody feels like he's supposed to have my back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
that's what it is. Yeah.
And what you do, because I'm gonna give this, is not what everybody who wants to be the man can do. Because if they could make another hole, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not in a praising you way, because people take it away. You know what I'm saying? People take it places where they don't need to be. Yeah. But if somebody beats the man, it ain't the community that it is today. Because then you step in this leadership role, how many people gonna walk away that's here? People showing up every day because they want to support him. But if you broke away, how many people would all these same people show up to support you? And that's how you know that you not the man. Because if you can't galvanize all the people and not lose one of us, then maybe what you have to say does need to be, you need to show some type of difference there. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Damn, man, it's an interesting. It's an interesting thing. I hope everybody is processing, because we're using people to make it tangible, right? And it may pertain to the people using, whether it be me, Sherelle, Love C, right? But take it off the people specifically so that you can also do something with it yourself, depending on which role you play in the things that you're involved in too, Like, where do you fall? What faction are you? Are you a faction that just needs to kind of say, hey, that's not for me, but those people are doing great things. And if you want to be a part of that, make sure you do these things. If you're not, hey, don't take away from that and understand what life looks like for this faction. But we support that in all the aspects that are good, right? We don't perpetuate the negativity and the stereotypes that bring everything down. We don't want to contribute to that. So let's make sure we're ready for that before we go into that. It's simple. Hey, if you're in the faction of the hierarchy that's a little bit higher up, hey, listen, I ain't no better than you. I was smashing the chicks and doing this and that, But what I get from being here with this annoying ass woman every day is the things that I get, and you line them out. Hey, fellas, guess what? My wife's a girl. She's a female, right? You got to say that now, right? She does girl shit. Surprise, right? It ain't no my wife don't do that. Come on.
She's an XXer. She's an XXer.
What's that? Oh yeah.
That's our chromosomes.
Yeah, the chromosomes. Yeah.
That's the climate we're in. You gotta. So what kind of chromosomes you got? I don't want to know what you is. Anybody will tell you anything. What kind of chromosomes you got?
But this is to your point of like, if I keep calling niggas lame, like, fuck out of here eventually, right? If I keep acting like my wife's shit don't stink, niggas like, yo, you fronting, nigga. There's no way she grew up in this earth and don't have any of those behaviors. You know what I'm saying? Now, they may be lesser, better here, worse there, but we got to acknowledge there's things that we've experienced before, because if you are a part of that faction, you still want the brothers over here, the sisters over there to get to this faction, because usually you see more success. The kids are better off. So you say, yo, you're right. She is annoying as shit in these ways, just like you said old girl was.
Yeah.
The thing that makes her different is, at very least, she's willing to listen, reflect, and change the behavior if we see that it doesn't benefit the family. Right? That's where it may differ. You see, but you still got to acknowledge that, we had to work on that shit and reiterate it, the women, if I'm talking to women, yo, real shit. You want this alpha personality, but I'll work for 90 hours. I don't even think twice. I take every DJ gig, did this, that, and third, right? Because everybody in here full belly eating. We got shit to do, but you lonely, but I ain't listening, right? I'm not that kind when I'm in that state. You see, whatever I'm gonna do, you know, I'm gonna push, you know, this not gonna be easy. And I'm gonna expect for a plate to be in the microwave if I walk in at 3 a.m. and there's mad kids here. You know, like you just gotta tell them, like, yeah, you want this thing, but there's gonna be difficulties that lie with that, you know. You gotta tell people the truth and then say, yo, but the juice is worth the squeeze, right? You do the pros and cons in totality.
Right.
You know,
Can you be understanding if people feel like the juice is not worth the squeeze?
can I understand why they would come to that conclusion?
Yeah.
Yes. And that's
So,
where, yes.
But
And
that's
that's
what
where,
makes you a leader and everybody not, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the ability to see the full scope of things and still say, like, you get to exist, we're not going to kill you off or say you just deserve to die because you can't get in line, because then we have to really get into the critiques of things, right? But there's people, like, I say this because I've been a driver. I know you don't like cars because you don't really know about cars, right? But I say marriage is a beautiful thing, but you compare it to driving, right? Because we used to be on horses. Cars are a beautiful thing, but people die in car crashes every day.
yeah, way more than planes.
What we need to fix is people texting. What we need to fix is people drinking and driving or being high when they're driving. What we need to fix is people driving when they're sleepy. What we need to fix is people following the laws on the street, not speeding, zipping in other people's lane, being distracted. We don't need to stop driving.
Yeah.
There's so many parameters around it. Now, there's people that don't drive. My mom and my grandma, they don't drive, don't know how to drive. And we understand that, right? But we don't stop driving because there's nothing wrong with cars. It's wrong with people in them.
Exactly.
And this is in our factions. We getting the work done to make sure you get your right driver's lessons before you get behind the wheel and fuck shit up.
Driving ain't problem. The cars ain't the problem. It's the people willing and agreeing to do these things, and they're irresponsible, right?
And that's the same with marriage.
So look at this, right? So I'm understanding because I know people have to work, you know, people have to work towards things, right? They have to see it, they have to hear you say it, then they have to see you do it too. You know, people want proof in the pudding. Faith without work is dead. And that's why you build that rapport and trust, and you can be an influence, right? It makes no sense to push people away just overtly, right? Because they're gonna go and do what they've always been doing, right? That just doesn't work. You know, you send people in a hole that they lived in, they're gonna die there, right? And so that's why it's important to say, oh no, I seen that. Yeah, you know, I've been there, I seen that. I understand that feeling. I understand that frustration. I understand how laborious it be, which it feels when it shouldn't be. Like, you never think of a relationship with this much goddamn work.
Yeah.
You'd be like, man, fuck them kids, bro. Until they go to sleep, then you'd be like, I will fucking kill you over these kids. So Rock be in here, right? And I'm always so soft on her. So she's like, Daddy, can I watch football? She tried to say it because Chug always say it. So one time she got up late. I was down here editing, and she just sat here. I turned on the TV for her. You know, I should have sent her upstairs, but I was so tight. She just kept crying. As soon as she fell asleep, I just left her down here with me. Like, you know. But yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting for sure, man. Damn. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I hope that this is probably the first show we ever did in this style. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And it wasn't on purpose. I dropped the link a few times. I think one person clicked. But it was a style in which, you know, we kind of just held the whole show down because of the concept. We still were. It hasn't been fully constructed. If you noticed, the last 2-3 shows, Sherelle had constructed it. Boom, 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 boom. This one was still in the works, so we just kind of, you know, just thinking through it in real time. You know.
Definitely.
So it's interesting, man. Yeah, galvanizing people ain't easy. you know, and we gotta make sure that we hold each other accountable within every faction. We respect the hierarchy of factions because we know seemingly what works for the people who seem to be most successful, and we give acknowledgement either way, and we give correction either way whenever necessary. Right? You may not be in full support, but if you know it's good, I'm not going to interject. You know, if one of my Muslim brothers is talking and he's saying things that I think can benefit those people listening, I'm not interjecting. You see, you got to have that understanding. Setting time and place. Building on another man's foundation is frowned upon, biblically speaking. You know? So be very cognizant, you know, of what it is you're doing and what you're trying to grow and build, man. What you think, bro?
It was a great show. I love it.
Sure, man. I get to go. I'm about to. This dog, he got to go to the vet. So I'm gonna take him early, see if I can get him in there. This nigga stink, but I like him. So Solid, of course you here, nigga. Wow, okay, yeah, cause Sherelle here, so you here, nigga. This, yo, man.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
He's not here either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just popped in. And then he tried to say, he said he trying to include me. You ain't talking to me. You should just put Sherelle and got it over with. Asshole. Tonight I will see y'all for the women's POV. Women keep women single, man. Perfect. We're just trying to understand, man. I just, you know, we talked about that before, but good God Almighty, man.
Yeah.
Y'all keep each other with shackles on.
Oh, this time you didn't say. This time you didn't say single women keeps women single.
Nah, just yo, shackles on her feet, hands behind her back. Fat woman outside of the club.
Wait, they didn't let the girl in the club because she was fat.
Yes.
That didn't I say that the other day? Remember we was having that conversation about how looks don't matter because I'm a woman with Drill.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, I said, try to go to the clubs in Miami, and they'll show you that you regular.
They gonna
like
show you.
Them clubs will humble you. Like they're not letting you in there just looking like anything. So you could think beauty is in about the eye of the beholder, or you know what I'm saying. When somebody tell you average looking, you get offended by it. But a lot of us are regular looking, and that ain't no hater shit. We give salutes to the girls that's drop dead gorgeous because it take effort. I don't think nobody really waking up. Those girls take care of their skin. They in the gym. They eating right. They dying. They counting their almonds, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So. Hey, that was that full life proof. They'll turn your ass around. What? Go, you gotta pay. Gotta pay how you weigh, baby.
Yeah. Real shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, boy.
And Ryan was inconsiderate for wearing them Timberlands. That's what I was saying. Okay.
He's an asshole, man. Asshole. He used to be a real asshole back then, boy. Good God. So. Hey man, hop in the Discord. Let's finish the conversation. I think there's a lot of things to mine through. The awesome thing about you guys allowing us to. Oh yeah, what time y'all leaving?
I'm about to leave now.
Word. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock.
Right when the show come on, huh?
Yeah. So, yo man, jump in the Discord. Let's continue the conversation. Yeah, man, it should be good. But tonight gonna be dope. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, whatever that is Pacific, man. Get familiar. There's a lot more opinions that need to be had on this faction thing and fracture thing and getting with the hierarchy and pushing a thing, helping, being a catalyst for positivity as things grow. You heard? People, I see people like, you know, it's good to build with each other. When they try to depart from you and build things on their own, right? That's not what we're looking for. You heard? So let's continue to get better, keep growing, keep thriving. I'll see y'all tonight, Women's POV. I'll see you on the Discord shortly. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe.
Tell a friend and tell a friend. And we out.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ HAMP about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels, and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky, salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show.